What happened that you took decision to take up entrepreneurship?
Because subprime crisis hela, हमको जे project जो start hitla, that project got stopped. So we were kind of back to zero in 2011.
All new IT companies, they come from an idea. What was your idea?
That time, that entrepreneurship and all that hasn't set into ourselves. Like we're just doing something. So we did the T-Cube Solution LLC based out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Who helped you? What help you didn't get?
When you run an organism, there is no somebody, it's you. We didn't take salary for at least 2 to 3 years.
How did Capgemini happen?
They cannot actually grow organically. They want to grow inorganically. Once you are in market for sell, then you cannot go back.
Coming to Khaya Piba, Bhubaneswar कौन miss करते US रे?
मोर हिसाब करी जाए जे ब्रेकफास्ट टा को एयरपोर्ट रे कि डिनर टा को एयरपोर्ट रे बिरयानी इज स्टिल ए फॉरेन फूड फॉर अस मटन कसार झोल जो मजा आसे तो बिरयानी रे अच्छी भलो
But mutton curry remains at the top. Oh, I love Nimapada chidi. Any day above gulab jamun. Odisha is rising. What more should be done?
if they are getting richer or they are getting paid well, then I think you are heading in the right direction.
Hello all, welcome to this new episode of this podcast. I hope you're really enjoying seeing the previous episodes and taking a lot from it. Today we have a dear friend, Sibasis Nayak, who used to run a company called T-Cube Solution and got acquired by an MNC at the age of 38. I hope we have a great conversation with him. To start with, he's a friend from the cricket field. So maybe this is the first time we are having this heart-to-heart conversation, or we just used to misbehave with each other on the cricket field.
we were talking about it yesterday, right? How I got to know Pankaj about, and we both want to forget that. But we carried that into relationship, right?
The best thing is, but the cricket re je sango achanti, they never mind jhagda.
That's a part of it, right? Otherwise, I think that's the beauty of a team sports, right? Both the teams are giving their 100%, even at work also, right? On the field, when they go out of the field, we're friends, right?
Actually, we connect for the love of our sports.
Correct. And the friendships you make out of sports that last longer than anything else.
Very pure.
Very pure, right?
So let's start. Not many people know about, young entrepreneurs who came from Odisha, who built great IT companies. And then you're somebody who got acquired at the age of 38 when, people just think of starting a company or still doing their jobs, right? So how did it start? What happened that you took that decision to take up entrepreneurship?
See, what happens is the word entrepreneurship itself was new to everyone. I was talking about like 2000s. We only see big companies like TCS of the world, Infosys. I'm from IT, so I'll give reference to IT, right? TCS of the world, Infosys of the world, and all that. So every time I belong to a group of people, right? We were all friends, right? We were friends who knew each other for a long period of time. There are a couple of my seniors and one of my batchmates, nearly about my batchmate. We all have been friends from late 90s or early mid
College or school?
After college, like college, right? So they were in different colleges, but we know from our Khoti group, right?
Wow.
Khoti connects, right? So back in 1999 or 2000, we all started our careers. Couple of them we were in Satyam, couple of them in Infosys and all that we were all doing. But in our back of our mind somewhere, we at some point in time, in say 2010 or 2015, we'll come together after we have some decent amount of money and to start something our own. That was always an idea, right? Always an idea.
So the idea came from a khoti. the whole idea, the spirit of khoti maybe.
And additionally, if you look at my personal viewpoint was I come from those purely middle class families struggle to get engineering. Then like my ମୁଁ ପଢିଥିଲି Odisha Engineering College, right? One of the first private engineering colleges in Odisha. ମୋର ଗୋଟେ thought process ଥିଲା ଯେ initially from very beginning, my father came from a very poor background from village. He came over here, ଏଇଠି ପାଠ ପଢି, then he went into get into OS and get into the government services. So, and he made sure that his children are doing well in their own field, right? But what is I am giving back to the society? More kichi mu jadi say same job, then get to a position and I retired. I'm not doing anything great for myself, right? The next thought process is I should also do something, and I would like my child to do something more than me. Then only I feel that success factor comes in. That was my personal.
I'll tell you, I was watching this podcast and Ajay Devgan and Rohit Shetty maybe in the podcast.
Right.
And Ajay Devgan said कि माँ ना हर वक्त बच्चे को गले से लगा के रखती है कि मैं जितना जानती हूँ तेरे को सेव करके रखूंगी, कि तेरे को वो दिखाऊंगी, ठीक है. बट बाप हर वक्त कंधे में रखता है कि मैं जितना दूर देख सकता हूँ तू उससे ज्यादा दूर देखना.
So that was my thought process initially. Then another point was back in, I think you also studied here, you know the dynamics of Odisha. I think it has changed a lot in last 20 years. Back in 2005 or 2006, not many IT organizations were there. There are only 3 or 4 big ones, but not many IT organizations were there.
And mostly BPOs.
Mostly BPOs. And the job market there was nothing. Anybody who's getting a pass out from here, he used to take a train, or those time flight was not there, the train to Bangalore.
Not many people know कि 2001-2 जाएंगे भी Bangalore को direct train नथिला. बहुत late आसी.
चेन्नई जाएगी, चेन्नई को. So we thought of it all started in 2005-06. So one of my partner, Anil Malik, you must be knowing him. So Anil bhai was getting married in 2005-06. Then he came over. He was in US. I was in IBM. So he came over. He said, "Let's do something. I have made some connects and all. So let's do something." There was another gentleman named Sibasis Nayak. He was in Infosys. And there's another gentleman called Prabir Panda. We 4 were kind of, he was in Infosys. So Anil and I is Satyam connection, and Prabir and Sabbe is Infosys connection. Okay. So that's where we thought, ki kaun kariba, then let's start doing something. Though I was in IBM UK, then I straight away come from there in 2007. That time, that entrepreneurship and all that hasn't set into ourselves. Like we're just doing something, like right?
But sometimes, it is the leap of faith. It's the spirit and the leap of faith.
So I think initially things fall in place because there was a gentleman who had some property, like 4-bedroom in City. So he was kind of losing that property to IDCO. Then I said, why don't you guys start here so that I can show that I have an IT company here, right? So that's where it all started. So we renovated that 4-bedroom flat.
But it's a Infosys entry left hand side.
So we renovated that and made it a workplace, like computer thwale then bedroom na dekha jaye ki it will look like a IT place. Before coming in, we had made some connections through which we could get some projects.
So just coming to that, before that, what I think is, all new IT companies, they come from an idea that there is a gap in the market, or we can provide the same service as the low cost model. So what was your idea, to be very specific?
So that's what I'm saying. We jumped into it without an idea, right? So our thing is, again, that low cost was definitely in. Yes. So what you again, to all due respect to all the larger organizations, they do it for a reason. That is why they have survived for years and years. So if you just see ki I'm just providing low cost services, then the client will think if you pay, like I have a very common saying, if you throw peanuts, you will get monkeys, right? And so that doesn't work. Like low cost normally typically do not fly. So that's where we thought of whatever experiences we have gained, we come here and run an normal IT organizations.
But ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ specifically ପଚାରୁଛି କି କ'ଣ idea ଟା ଥିଲା?
Idea was started with a product. That product was related to software plus hardware, right? Some divine some product, because the zone we were in IDCO, that Sijo Thila, you have to have some output out of it, not services. You have to show some product, right?
ମାନେ BPO ହେଇପାରିବନି,
BPO ହେଇପାରିବନି,
ମାନେ କିଛି development
ହବାର ଥିଲା. First 6 months ରେ we got our first block, no first order नहीं, first jolt पाइलु जे wall टा ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମେ ଭାବ ଯେ grass is always greener on the other side, then we realized the grass green ଥିଲା କିନ୍ତୁ green ଟା was very far, it is still brown. So that's where that because subprime crisis ହେଲା, ଆମକୁ जे project जो start ହେଇଥିଲା, that project got stopped and the advances were taken back.
କ'ଣ product?
That was related to mortgage. We were training, we hired 25 people, we trained them in that particular technology. Then we did initial investment. Then one fine morning we woke up and see nothing is in there. Then we started running around ki kaun kariba, ye kariba, sis kariba. So basically we never had a plan B then. So that is where we first jumped to the water. Then say ki acha eita ko backstroke कौन एटा को normal swimming कौन एटा को निश्वास बंद करी कि how do you survive in the water कौन right? Then prior to that we thought we'll all swim and we'll all Michael Phelps of the world, right? So that's how it all started in 2007, July, August.
And then तापरे कौन हेला once?
Then when we realigned ourselves, then we got our first order as a then we thought how can we survive not 4 of us? How can we survive this 20 people first? Because we hired from market, how can we make sure that they're getting salary and our utility bills are paid? That's the fundamental basis we run the organization for 6 months.
So this is 2009.
2007, between August, September to January, March. So those are the first thing which was in our mind. So then we started getting smaller orders, right? Small orders in the sense, in the websites, shopping cart, US re, we started getting those. We started to divert ourselves into different other technologies, learning and all that. So people basically, एटी गोटे थिला जेतरा IT revenue, or we were turning an IT entrepreneur, you cannot just sit in the AC room and start behaving like managers. You have to kind of sleep up and you have to code. You have to be a good developer, coder, or whoever it is, so that you can anchor the whole delivery, anchor the whole program, whatever the client is needing, right? The services basically you're providing, because people whom you might have hired, they might not have done that in before, or they might not have in that place, because we all did that for other organizations. So that is where we had to play that anchor role for at least another year until you get the right kind of people to settle down. Because building a pyramid is very important. Next phase is building a pyramid, because you may not get right people on the day one. So over a period of time, you kind of build that pyramid.
You start giving away your work and responsibilities. Yeah, true. I am facing the biggest challenge, right?
So in between 2007 and 2010, a lot of things happened. Like TQ were everywhere, right? So we went into animation, we went into production. We had a great animation story. So amor story ta emti gote hela je T-Cube re suppose there are 2-3 businesses we used to take care. One business unit, whatever we earn, it used to feed to the other business units. That animation was super hit for 2 years, 2007, 8, 9 re. During that period, we got introduced to another jota amara USP hela in 2012, 2013 re. That is where we started looking at a insurance product. That is a property and casualty insurance product based out of US. Say product amar dita pilla they were kind of started to learn that. We got introduced to a client and we started having 2 people that is where we invested in those 2 people. That 2 became 50, that 50 became 250, that 250 was sold to Capgemini.
So who were the two people? Out of you four
No,
or some other
and,
two people?
one of us, and there was a market hire. So that's where, and we also were part of it, right? So that's where it all started flowing into that. Then by the time we reached a good state in that technology, that area, then we gave away other areas because we had to focus. We went to the market as a boutique shop who are doing property and casualty insurance in this space. ମାନେ ତମେ ଫୁଲ କିଣିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛ ଫୁଲ କିଣିବ ସେଥିରେ ଆଉ ଚକୋଲେଟ୍ ନାହିଁ କି ମାନେ there is nothing, it's only flower shop. So that is how we.
So what was the journey like between 2007 to 9?
2007 to 9, we were all over it. We were doing telecom in the sense telecom projects. We were doing animation. We were doing websites. We were doing shopping carts. We were doing data. Lot of things.
How hard were the finances?
So we all four of the primary founders we didn't take salary for at least 2 to 3 years. It was very from my personal point of view, it was really very bad, right? In the sense, so basically whatever prior to that I was in UK, so right, software engineer salary, you go to US and UK to have some extra dollar or pound, you save it, come back to Bhubaneswar, buy a new house, marry, have a good car. That's all. That's how the life goes, right? Like that's a cycle of life. But for us, that money was put into this thing. So, and right, the cost, the money you put into something that you think, okay, this would be enough for 6 months. That's not enough for 6 months, right? So that goes just like that. So we had a different avenues because banks were not open for loans, right? And cash credit situation is bad. We went from nothing to we went for hand loans. We were kind of everywhere in 2000, between 2007 to 2009, just to survive this organization.
Who helped you? What help you didn't get? What was the story? Kimiti financial help midla.
You should be thankful to and appreciative of to always to the source. Otherwise, you will not go anywhere in the world. So there were gentlemen came in. Our friend circle le bahut achandi. There was a Gugnani sir jane thile, au jane sahu sir thile. Bahut lok achandi. They came in at some point in time. Choto hand loan, everything, whatever it is, it helped.
Gugnani as in Ashwini Gugnani?
Yeah. He was a close friend of Sabbe. So he came in at the right time. And there are other people also. There was one gentleman in Bangalore. We had friend circles also, right? Amara suppose friends then problem because they were some director, some senior director in say IBM, Infosys or whatever, right? Good organizations. They must be having some savings. So they also came in and helped. Okay, these guys are struggling. In 2009 or so, there was a period in which we thought, should we go back to job? Without, college time initial days salary is good. But at the age of, when I jumped in, I was like 29, 30, so 28, 29.
With family?
Family start hebaku jautla. So, with family, very asubida issues in right? When survive Korea, you might be a great orator, you might be convincing a lot of people, but the bottom line when it comes to paying bills, it is very difficult, right? So those periods were very difficult for all of us. But we have survived to the lowest point. At least 4 of us have seen the worst in the world. At least gote jinsa edi best kamo hela kona na jehetu we were in Bhubaneswar, parents koro help ta am bapa कहते तो घर धर्मशाला so parents करो येटा बहुत that helped a lot for all of us maybe parents
निज घर थिले
they understood it later काहेंकि normally in the way I'm not talking about like people from Mumbai, Chennai and others because there this thing is very common, people coming out of job and doing their own, right? In Odisha, people who are part of large organizations, now people are doing it, and then people coming out of their job to start something new and not taking salary, struggling day by day is very difficult. When parents normally whatever we do, our parents first hit one day. They think a lot about us, right? So
They're always worried about you.
always
And there
worried
is
about
more of a concern.
There's always worried about you, right? You are spending 18 hours a day. Like I was first दिन से you have to be workaholic in all this. Like everything is yours, right? यदि bathroom टा clean, there is nobody else to clean it. There are times I have cleaned bathroom. There is nothing wrong in it. Right?
No. I'll tell you my starting story. मैंने 2009 रे even if I am a second generation entrepreneur, ମୁଁ ଯେବେ UK ରୁ ଆସିଲି start କଲି କାମ, my first work was to wake up at 6 a.m, brush my teeth, ତଳେ ତିନିଟା ଜାଗା ବ୍ରୋକର ଠିଆ ହେଇଥିବେ, ତାଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ବୁଲିବି କି ଜାଗା ଖୋଜିବା. So it is true for everyone across everything कि the struggle has to be real. You have to put in hours, you have to put in the struggle, you have to face situation.
For sure. Like ଆମର ଥରେ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲାଇଣ୍ଟ ଭିଜିଟ୍ ହଉଥିଲା, there was I think 2007-8 ମୋର ମନେ ପଡୁନି, ହଠାତ୍ we realized there is one office boy. He has gone to get coffee. Coffee banele. He has gone to get coffee from Coffee Day. Because US through people who come in, they are used to kind of good coffee. Amar an Nescafe pile, then he has gone there. Hatat bathroom ta ye heji. So somebody has to do it. Who is that somebody? When you run an organization, there is no somebody. It's you, right? So that's where like it's not only me, my partners and others, they have done it all, right? You put so much effort. Coming back to parents, they get worried. And another thing is the first 7 years my life was jo lifestyle thila, right? I was in UK, always been good paisa hochi gadi bhalo chalochi. So they see change, there is a change in this guy, right? Even tara dressing pattern भी change helani, he's not buying clothes, right? That's how, right? ମୋ ମନେ ଅଛି in 8 months ରେ ମୋ ଭାଇ ମୋ ପାଇଁ ଦୁର୍ଗା ପୂଜାରେ ଗୋଟେ shirt ଆଣିଥିଲା. That was a big deal for me because for 8 months I didn't buy a shirt. ବହୁତ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ବର୍ଷ କିନ୍ତୁ ମୋର ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଇଏ shopping ର attitude ଅଛି ନା, ଆଜି ଗଲେ କାଲି ଗୋଟେ କିଣି ଆଣିବା. And there was time ଇଏ ଥାଏ ଆମେ ଯୋଉ pattern ରେ the way you have lived for like 4 years 5 years pattern से pattern ଟା break so people started being concerned कि where it is heading. So
plus doubting कि ତମେ ଠିକ କଲ କି ନାହିଁ,
କରୁଛ ନା ନାହିଁ. And there was no godfather, right? Yes. Whatever you are doing, you are of the same age group. ଜଣେ 29 ଆଉ ଜଣେ 32. That's the highest. एमती तांको भितर कि 45 वाला नांदी कि जो those who have seen the world more than you and who will
trying to make you understand. Plus समस्त first generation business owners. Right. So to wading through all these problems is also an issue.
Always issue. And there are times when we discussed among ourselves, should we go back to job? Should we wrap this one up? कहीं जो 2009 रे ये जो पिला मैंने अच्छी now they are in a position कि ସେମାନେ कोडी भी पढ़ा पाइबे कहीं ये है should we go back? Then actually ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଆମର God's grace ଭଗବାନଙ୍କର ଇଏ, we all were God loving person. ଆମ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ବଢ଼ିଆ ଭକ୍ତି ଇଏ ବାଲା ଅଛନ୍ତି. ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ମୋ ଲାଇଫରେ ମୁଁ ଦେଖିଛି ଆମ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ହେଇଛି ଗୋଟେ ଯଦି ଡୋର ବନ୍ଦ ହବ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଡେ ମର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଡୋର ଓପନ ହେଇଯାଏ. ସେ ଯୋଉ ସିରିଜ ହେଲା ଯୋଉ ଆମର ପ୍ରଥମ କ୍ରାଇସିସ୍ ହେଲା ଯୋଉଟା ବନ୍ଦ ହେଲା, ଗୋଟେ ପୁନେ କମ୍ପାନୀର ଗୋଟେ ସଫ୍ଟୱେର ଦରକାର ଥିଲା, ସେମାନେ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଡେ କହିଲେ ମୋତେ ଏଇଟା ହେଲ୍ପ କର. ସେଇଠୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଲା ପରେ ପୁନେରୁ ବମ୍ବେ ଯାଇକି ଆମର ଆନିମେସନଟା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଲା. ଆନିମେସନ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇକି ତାପରେ ଯୋଉ ଇନ୍ସୁରାନ୍ସ ସେ ବିଜନେସରେ ସେଇଠୁ କ୍ୟାଲକାଟାର ଜଣଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସ୍ ହେଇକି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଲା. ସେଇଟା ବଢ଼ିଲା ବେଳକୁ ସଡନଲି ଟେଲିକମ୍ରେ ବାହାରେନ୍ର we were doing a lot of good work from a people ଗୋଟେ ବାହାରେନ୍ କମ୍ପାନୀ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ବାହାରେନ୍ ଟେଲିକମ୍ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ସେଇଟା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଲା. ସୋ ଯେବେ ଗୋଟେ ଡୋର ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଛି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ୱିଣ୍ଡୋ ଓପନ୍ ହେଇଛି. ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଓପନ୍ ହେଇଛି just because of the word of mouth. ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ସବୁଠୁ weakest point thila, we never had any sales. All the sales were us. Like I'm talking to you is sales. Right? That's how the sales is. So somebody might have spoken year ago. Se aji asibo. Se jo aji jo asibo. ସେଇଟା କାଲି ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଥିବ ସେ ଆଜି ଆସିବ ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ହାଉ ଇଟ୍ ୱର୍କଡ୍ ମାନେ ମେ ବି ଡିଭାଇନ୍ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭେନସନ୍ ଅର୍ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ବଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ହାଉ ଇଟ୍ ରିଅଲି ୱର୍କଡ୍ ସୋ ସେଇ ମୋମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ସିରିଜ୍ରେ ହେଇ ଚାଲିଲା ଦେନ୍ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ 2009-10ରେ ଆମେ we started drawing our own salaries
of that insurance.
Insurance जो हमें there was a
What
product.
specific product?
So that product is called Duck Creek. That's as of today in 2024, that's the top 2 products in the world.
Oh.
So that product company we had a partnership through a firm in US. So we were their extension of their delivery center. So they used to give us a lot of work and we used to do, and that at one point in time there are more than 55-60 people billable in 2010. So 2010 we steadied the ship a lot. ସେତେବେଳକୁ ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ଜଣା ପଡ଼ିଲା ଯେ ଆମେ ଏଇ ଲାଇନରେ ଯାଉଛୁ ଆୱାର ଫୋକସ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ବି ନେକ୍ସଟ 5 years ଇଜ୍ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ବି ଦିସ୍ ଦ ବ୍ୟୁଟି ଅଫ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏବେ ଯଦି 2024ରେ you and the Duckery technologies that might be around 5,000-10,000 people all over the world ତମେ ଯଦି ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଟେକା ପକାଇଦେବ 50% ଓଡ଼ିଆ in Bhubaneswar that ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜିରେ ୱାର୍କ କଲା ବାଲା ମାନେ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ୍ସ ଲାଇକ୍ Accenture, Cognizant, LTI, Mindtree, Coforge, there are 7 or 8 top organizations, all are in Bhubaneswar. That is due to the fact that
one product from Bhubaneswar.
ଆମ ପାର୍ଟନରସିପରେ ଯେଉଁ ପିଲା ବାହାରିଥିଲେ product was from US. ସେ ଯେଉଁ ବାହାରିଥିଲେ we were the flag bearer of that. Seutu se jo pila bahale, those people have spread across the world leading the firms, right? So that's what the mane I'm proudly mane jodi gale bi mane pila thia hi jauchane se kode aste way kare mane se jo amount of respect we have gained over a period of 15 years is commendable. So that जो ସେଇଠୁ जो ये ହେଇଥିଲା जो फर्स्ट बैच जो पिला आसଥିଲେ ସେଇମାନେ ସେଇଠୁ ଆମର ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଆମେ ମଡ୍ୟୁଲଟା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରିଥିଲୁ ତାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ୟୁଏସ୍ ଟୁ ଦେର୍ ୱାଜ୍ ଏ ଯେଉଁ କମ୍ପାନୀ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଆମେ ଇଏ କଲୁ ଦେନ୍ ହି କେମ୍ ଟୁ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଟୁ ଟ୍ରେନ୍ ଅସ୍ and we had the first batch of say 20 people. Next ଆମେ ନିଜେ ଟ୍ରେନର ହେଇକି we had like ମାନେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ୍ରି.
So it was a product in US?
Basically କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ଟର there were they called it as SI partners, system integration partners. Product when it is sold to a client, right? So insurance players are the clients, right? They buy this product. Some company has to implement that because product companies they only sell the product. These people are implementing that. So we are the implementers. So we became the implementers. So that's how it all started in 2010. So all went well. 2000 we had a great relationship with the product firm. 2009, 2010, 2011 that product was sold to somebody in US. So when the product got sold, that company who bought it, it's up to them whether they want to use us,
take business from you or not.
We had all the relationship and everything, so we were kind of back to zero in 2011. Like we had a large workforce, we had all set up. We moved then from E7 Infocity to JSS Tower. Sababu thile Vijay Sahu. He was one of our advisors. Like he never came in. Like I've never seen Vijay Sahu doing free advices. So he used to come in. Are tum charjon hai young dekhi mane khushi lage. So he used to sit with us and advise us. He was the guy who came to us and said, I'm giving you 6 months of credit. तमे JSS software को shift करो. क्योंकि when you show success, you get success. माने तमे client तमे बड़ा workspace ये से देखेले ही लोग को impress है कि काम देवार करें. When you because you have to move to a next level. Otherwise, you may be doing great work, but any client visiting you, they might not be impressed. अरे कौन ओडे bedroom रो काम करछन, right?
So this is before the company getting sold or
this is 2010 before. So basically the Duck Creek sell hey nathila 2010 re 2009 re Vijay Babu was instrumental in helping us to move to GSS Tower. So I mean, all set up, all going good. It started to, then we started getting to highlight in Odisha also, in Bhubaneswar, right? And some people suggested we must get into the government projects, CCA. You have to work in different areas. That point in time, say pillar rahile, technology skills rahila, chhota project rahila, and suddenly we had around 15 to 16 clients. We were marginalized to only 2. Pilla kindu rahile. So then another door opened. We got a lot of partnership in South Africa. I moved to South Africa for a couple of years. I was heading everything that was happening there. So between 2011 2013, we had revenues from South African unit. We had revenues from Bahrain Telecom and all that. Apart from this Duck Creek. Then 2013 was the year when actually our level next level ko we went. How that has happened is, so basically there is a gentleman in US who wanted to start his own organization. Hame 2007 to 2013 jaye, he knew us. He was part of that Duck Creek organization. So he had the kind of vision to start a new organization to service Duck Creek clients, right? US through. So we came in together in 2013, and his organization and us, we created one organization because we never had a US presence. We were all doing through another organization in US. So we did the T-Cube Solution LLC based out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Why so Colombia, South Carolina?
Colombia, that person was in Colombia. So this guy who was working in Duck Creek, he wanted to do his own organization. That's where we kind of got together, said, why are you have 70, 80 people here, Duck Creek certified and all experience. Why you want to create another organization? Let's merge the things and create one organization. You have stake in our also. Okay. So that's why the TQ head office was, because you always wanted a US address, right? To run IT organizations, if you're saying US is the place, right? So, and we got incubation in South Carolina also, like in their university. We started that in Colombia. So that's the next jump. So between 2013 to until the time was sold 2017, we grew from 50 people in that Duck Creek technology to 250 people.
Okay, and same Duck Creek.
Same Duck Creek. Then our overall focus, we consolidated everything to focus on one insurance, that technology, and provided.
And did that new company come back to you, Duck Creek Technology?
So Duck Creek, they came back to us because of the skills, because these skills were so rare in the market. So they came back to us in 2011 saying that, hey, why don't you sell your organization to us? You have 50, 60 people. We said, we are not ready yet to sell the organization, right? So then they said, okay, you know what, I will recruit everyone from your company and go. That period of time, nobody left our organization. We always have been thankful to our people, right? We were, between 2007 to 2011, there was only 2 months in which we couldn't pay salary to our people. That was the worst months. And we even, like in a conference hall, we called everyone and said, Ame imasre dei paronu. If you have to leave, you can always leave. We don't have to serve notice period or anything. This is what we are. You don't believe, nobody left the organization for next 1 year. They were so attached to the organization because we feel this IT industry is a knowledge industry. There's like table laptop value nahi. It is all here, right? People and knowledge. So that's what we understood from the day one. If you want to succeed, then peoples are the parameter by which you succeed, not by anything else, right? At least in India, right? That is how you, because workforce is in India. US you may get very small, you don't need that big workforce. You may have 10-20 people and run the organization from US, but from India you need a workforce. So that is the major differentiator in our organization for which we were successful. So the people who joined us in 2007 2008, like at a salary of like 6,000 8,000 college pass outs, this all of them stayed with us until 2015, like 80 to 90% of them, they all grew with us. They all from a college pass out, they became a seasoned IT professional with us only. That was our major strength, right? That skills, technologies, experience that helped us in the long run. Like when I'll come to the Capgemini story, that was one of the evaluation points when the acquisition happened.
Because you have people from with you for last 10 years.
10 years, right? Even though there were no projects at one point in time, even though it is through bank, it is through hand loan, or it is through like we fulfilled our commitment every time. Like whether you land based though, whatever karo, lekin salary has to go, right? Salary, vendor, utilities has to be there, right? Otherwise you cannot survive.
So beyond that also, man management is also important.
Correct.
Like, but this one crisis I am facing right now is our company is growing. We are recruiting a lot of middle managers, and everyone is like, ki yaku push karo, get 100% from him, take more hours from him, and we are like a family oriented company. So every staff is a family, right? Every colleague is a family. So maybe telling them that and getting undue work from people is so difficult for us that we have this constant problem with the old staff in the organization and new staff in the organization. Right. Where old staff has been with us for long and the new staff are expecting a lot from the people. Right. So
people management is, I think, the organizations we run, I think people management is the key thing.
A lot of people, they don't understand that it is also very personal. Every organization is personal.
Right.
You just can't go by books in every organization.
Because the HR and the processes are made for the people.
Yes.
And some person has written it. Yes. It's not written by AI or it is not written by a machine, right?
Yes.
Sabya, who was our MD CEO, he always tells us that whatever decision you make today from HR or from a point of view, you are actually touching 500 lives because you have 100 employees. Yes. Consider every employee has 5 family members. So you are touching 500 lives.
Plus, what I want to say is, each HR policy has to be company oriented. You just can't open books and ye process ta book re likha hai thi. No, we need to have our own HR policies.
Another policy we had was, there was one gentleman who visited us in 2010 when we were doing everything. See, he is a Odia person. He is one of the top 5s in Reliance. So he came in and he sat with us just ki ପିଲାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ କଥା ହେବା ଆମେ ଟିକେ
ମାନେ E7 ଅଫିସ ନା JSS ଅଫିସ
ନା ପୁରୁଣା ଅଫିସରେ କରେଣ୍ଟ ପଳେଇଲା ମାନେ ତ କରେଣ୍ଟ ଯାଉଥିଲା ତଳେ ହିଟ୍ କରେ ସୋ वी वेंट टू ମାନେ ଛାତରେ ବସି କଥା ହେଲୁ କ'ଣ କରିବୁ ମଶା କାମୁଡୁଥିଲେ so he said ତମମାନେ what are you doing to yourself I see you are working in data you are working in animation you are working in testing you are working in .NET you are working in Java ତମେ କ'ଣ ମାନେ ତମ ବୁକେ ମାନେ are you a kind of buffet ହେଇଗଲା ମାନେ rice we are everywhere so this is the time you focus something because you're just think of it you are not building another Infosys you are building something which you have to make it successful because you already spent 2-3 years ଆଉ ପଛକୁ ଯାଇ ହେବନି there is no going back and you don't have a choice right so focus on something that's where was like there are so many people we came to us like in between this was a good example of people giving us good ideas. There are people who came to us saying that, okay, you know what, we'll buy your company. You're doing good. I'll pay you this much. We'll buy your company and you work with us. You have a smaller share, but
So I interrupt now, right? So just before we start the Capgemini story, so this was 2011, right? And we, as in, we are into real estate, right? So we do a lot bigger projects, and most of our project or many few projects are where we are sleeping partners. ठीक है कि because we do, somebody wants to be a builder हवा चाहूची and he's like नहीं तुम वो सांगरे रो तो हमें सांगरे रोइले we have this कि हमें कर दो. And then was this partner, we started doing few projects with him, छोटा project, 8 flat, 16 flat back in 2009. I landed from UK, movie नुआ start करथिली, so I knew, I think 2009-11 around से project सरला. And this is 2009 or 11, I don't remember exactly. My partner, I'm not naming him, okay, he called up my father and he said कि गोटे IT company अच्छी, needs fund and we should go and talk. So our final हेला Mayfair रे देखा हुआ, Mayfair teapot रे मुगली and Anil bhai was there. So me, my father, my partner and Anil bhai, we were sitting discussing all the terms. I think he needed 1 crore of rupees. I said कि देखो तो investment है जीवा. But what I want is कि I want to sit with you, understand कि कौन तमें करू छो, कौन करिया चाहूँ छो, because business wise it is making sense or not, and maybe be in the board, not intervene every time, but be in the board and seeing where the company is heading. And Anil bhai said, yeah, that's pretty okay. So everything was done, everything was great. And then discussion came कि 1 crore रे कितने equity. ठीक है. So Anil bhai said 10%, maybe 9 or 10%, I don't remember the number. I was okay with 12-15, you know. So 1 crore rupees, he said कि 10% equity, move 15 कही कि 12-13 रे राजी गई थी. My partner made a blunder. से कौन कहला, से अनिल भाई रो 20 चिपिया पे चाहिला. से कहला 33%, and I was like shocked. I was like, shit, what is he speaking? From my side. I said, it doesn't happen like that. You know, new age business, people who are like 50, 55 don't understand. My father was like, jahan Pankaj koi was, theek achi. And this guy was my father's age. He said 33%. I said, Papa, aise nahi hota hai. And then the deal was called off. I really, still till date, I repent that decision. I should have made my partner understand that even a 10-15% majority joti bhi hochi, this is one of the brightest opportunity we could have got inside the IT company. But he was just not understanding. से खाली 20 चिपा चाहूँ था.
Maybe 2011 में 1 crore, 2017 में value डामु कोई भी नहीं हुए. But I think we went through this exercise many times. We come from a thought process. There was another company with whom we were dealing with in South Africa. तांकर भी 2 जन लोक थिले, ताते जणे ओडिया थिला. She is a dear friend of mine. REC राउरकेला. सी कहला जे तमरो थॉट प्रोसेस कौन, तांकर कंपनी थॉट प्रोसेस है आगे जो पैसा आसो 3 जन जो अच्छा डायरेक्टर ये जो मैंने से भी दे आर ऑल वर्किंग, दे आर ऑल बिलेबल. एमती नहीं बसिक खाइबे आम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बसिक वाला नहीं, एवरीबडी हैज टू वर्क. कहले जे आम 3 जन आगे सैलरी नबू, तापर जी नबा कथा नब. आम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थिला जे आग पिला नेबे, जदि बळिला आम 4 जन नबू. तेणु से डिफरेंट थॉट प्रोसेस रे मे बी तांको पई सेटा थॉट प्रोसेस थिला, कहीं दे वर रनिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन साउथ अफ्रीका. आम पई एटा थिला, बिकॉज वी आर रनिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन इंडिया. एंड एक्सपेंशन पई यू ऑलवेज नीड फंड्स, राइट. आम जेएसएस रे वी स्टार्टेड एट 4th floor, देन हाफ नेलु, तापर 6th floor नेलु. When your project is expanding, you may get the money in 6 months because You know this, right? When you raise a invoice, you get the money in 90 days, right? You don't get tomorrow, right? It's not that US that is the standard 60 days, 90 days, some are 120 days, because that's how it is, right?
So 2013, you started working again with a South African company.
US company.
US companies set up an office there, and then till up to 2016, 17, you were doing very good in the technology we're talking about,
Insurance.
insurance and everything. And then how did Capgemini happen?
So when we were in 2013, when we started with this, in 2 years, we came into limelight of all the organizations, all the tier one organizations.
Okay.
So basically what happens in IT is, right, if you are a boutique firm concentrating on one area, your skill, so what happens is tier one organizations like your Accenture, Mindtree was not tier one that time, but Accenture, Coforge, or maybe Capgemini or Infosys, they always are, they cannot actually grow organically. They want to grow inorganically, right? By acquiring, right? Because you learn, you make a team of 20 to 200, that takes around 5 years. Rather, you acquire a small size company, bring it to your fold, and include your services into that, so that it becomes another, like from a pura guldasta ban jata hai, right? That's how we call it. Bouquet ban jata hai. That becomes a bouquet and you service it to the client. So in 2015, I think one organization came for acquiring us in the
And
first.
who was talking? You, Sabir bhai, Anil
Sabir,
bhai?
I think we four were engaged. Primarily, it was Anil and Sabir, right? So Amit Jani Nathalu, we were not. And then the gentleman from US, Sam, right? It was his connection. He was the guy with whom we partnered in 2013, right? So, so that we 4-5 we talk, and we typically talk and brainstorm and all that. So that is where it all started. So प्रथमे जो दुईटा अर्गानाइजेसन आसले, although they are large organization, they thought आमे एत पैसा दबुनु, ये करूनु, से करूनु, valuation नहीं. Then we stopped. नहीं, चलो बंद करो. Then what happened in 2016? Again, from a acquisition point of view, also people were coming to acquire. One door was closing, another door was opening. So in 2016, we thought, because तमे थरे गोटे यार गोटे concept अच्छी. Once you are in market for sell, then you cannot go back. Ama industry re. So that what happened. Like 2016 re, what happened was we were doing great. 2015-16 re was the best years of TQ, right? We were doing great. So I went to US in 2016 for a huge, one of the biggest project of ours. So what happened was, client wanted a principal of the organization to be stationed at US to run the project. That project we started with 8 people and became 88 people in 3 months time. It was a huge project for us. Like that project run rate was kind of $1 million a month. $1 million a month. I mean,
and who got stationed?
I was there. Okay. So I went from, that was the day I went from more Jibaju Osvidhala cricket chhadi mane I know. So
ତମେ ୟୁଏସ୍ ରେ ବି କ୍ରିକେଟ ଖେଳୁଛ?
ଖେଳୁଛି, ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନଥିଲି ନା ଏତେ, ମାନେ ୟୁଏସ୍ ରେ କ୍ରିକେଟଟା ପପୁଲାର ହେଲା 4-5 ବର୍ଷ, ସେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନଥିଲି. ସୋ ସେତେବେଳେ ଆଇ ୱେଣ୍ଟ ଦେୟାର ଇନ୍ 2016, ଯେ ସେଇ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟଟା କାଉଣ୍ଟଟା କରିବା ପାଇଁ. And ଆମର US ରେ ବି ଅଫିସ୍ ଥିଲା. So we made it successful, and that is where we came into Capgemini's attention, right? Because in that client itself, Capgemini was also there. Even the client also said the next phase of the project, which is like twice of this size, why don't you talk to them to partner, so that you can do the overall thing. So what happens is, in our kind of a system, in a like firm like us, we can do certain things, right? Like ours is like, we do the things we do, but the project is not always that thing, right? It is a part of the project. Like this, from a housing example, suppose ମୁଁ ଘରଟା କଲି, ତାର ମୁଁ ମେଜର ଜିନିଷଟା କଲି, ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟା କି ଘରଟାରେ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ରହିପାରିବ, କିନ୍ତୁ ତା ଦେହରେ ବି ଆହୁରି ଅଛି, ଇଣ୍ଟେରିୟର ଅଛି, ଟାଇଲ ଅଛି, ମାନେ ଇଏ ଅଛି, ସେଇଟା ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ଦରକାର କି ଯାହା ପାଖରେ ଏଇ ସ୍କିଲଟା ନାହିଁ କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇ ପେରିଫେରିଆଲ ସ୍କିଲ ଗୁରା ଅଛି,
ବଡ଼ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟର,
ବଡ଼, which was Capgemini. And Capgemini is an organization who has grown in the world through acquisitions. They always have been open about it.
And Capgemini is an Indian
No,
organization?
Capgemini France-based. French-based and that US office, so global organization. So that is where they, then we started talking. 2016 August, September to 2016 December, January of 2017 ଭିତରେ ଏଇଟା final ହେଇଗଲା.
So 10 years. 10 years, 2007 to 17.
2007 to 2009 years, 9.5 years was the precise 9.5 years. So that's where ମାନେ जो ହେଲା 2007 January ରେ 17 January ରେ ହେଲା.
So they took over the Indian firm, they took over the
US firm. Basically Indian firm was the subsidiary of US firm. So basically for visa reasons and all that, you have to make it a subsidiary. So when somebody is acquiring he is not getting the revenue, he's not only getting the revenue and he is getting a history. Right? So ଆମର କ'ଣ ହଉଥିଲା, ମୁଁ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲଟା ଦେଲେ ବୁଝିପାରିବ, ଆମେ we were ମାନେ ରିଅଲ ଏଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ ଭ୍ୟୁରୁ ଆମେ କନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନରେ ସେ ଯେଉଁ 30ଟା ଘର 20ଟା ଘର ମାନେ ଇଏ ଭାବି ପାରୁଥିଲୁ, ଆମେ ତମେ ଯୋଉଟା
but there's a market of 3000 flats.
3000 flats, ଆମେ ତମେ ଯୋଉଟା ଏବେ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟଟା ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ଯୋଉଟା ପଚାରୁଥିଲି ତମକୁ, ଆମେ ସେଇଟା ରେଞ୍ଜ ବାହାରେ ଥିଲା ଆମର, କି ସପୋଜ ଜେଡ୍ ଇଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ହେଲା, ଆମର ସେଇଟା ସବୁ Z1 ହେଲା, ସେଇଟା ସବୁ ଆମର ରେଞ୍ଜ ନଥିଲା, ଆମେ 30ଟା ଘର 40ଟା ଘର we are the king, ଆମେ ବଢ଼ିଆ ସେ ବନେଇକି କରିବୁ. କିନ୍ତୁ Capgemini ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମକୁ ଇଏ କଲା, ଫର୍ ଏନି ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ୍ ଟୁ ଏକ୍ସେଲ୍ ଇନ୍ US you always need a history, even in here also. ତମକୁ ଯିଏ ପଚାରିଲେ ଯେ ତମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ କାଲି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜଣେ ଫଟୋ ବି ଉଠେଇବାକୁ ଆସୁଛି, ତମର ପୁରୁଣା ଫଟୋ ଦେଖେଇଲ, ରାଇଟ୍, ଆଲବମ୍ ଦେଖେଇଲ, so that is how it is, right? So that they buy the history of it, and they bought our 10-year history with say this many clients. Out of that 16 clients were active. Mane ajika date re I was serving 16 clients. That's the major game changer for us. That was the major thing. Then they took that thing to the larger players. Like we were at suppose say jo 30 flat 40 flat wala thila, they took us to the larger insurance players.
What were the terms? Like, are you still part of Capgemini?
I'm continuing by choice, right?
You're continuing by choice,
right?
But Anil bhai and all have.
They have. So basically, terms were like there were not.
Can he run a tech company again? Maybe not in the same sector.
Right.
Anil bhai can do it.
Right. It was but 3 years.
Yes.
Like 2 years was the thing. You have to be the organization. So basically, Capgemini, what they did was. Capgemini is a people-centric organization. They saw us the value that these are the people whom I need to excel, right? That is why they invested in us also, like us, like top 10 talent with the top people where they invested in us, right? So first 2 years was like you have to be the organization, then you can leave the organization. 1 year cooling off period. Then after 3 years, you want to do whatever you want to do. Right?
For everyone.
For everyone. I think 4 or 5 of us are chadid already. But I've been doing great. I've been continuing in Capgemini and a leadership role in US.
What happened next? How did you grow with that money? Because with a lot of money comes a lot of responsibility, right? And then to again reinvest that money is the bigger challenge.
Yeah. So I think there are a lot of investments which we took care of after that and all that. And I think Anil and Prabir, they went out and they created something new.
Yes.
They have another IT organization now. So again, everything is first time, right? 2007 company chadi company koriba asiba to come here. Everything is first time. So
yes. Really, but that leap of faith, those 10 years, the story has been great.
Yeah.
Maybe again, this is time for Gen Z bashing. We call it here because Gen Z people, the young people, they're like do not have this patience to build something, and they want everything right there, right then. So maybe what is 10 years? 10 years in your professional life is like 1/5 of your professional life,
Right.
or 1/4 of your professional life. So if in 10 years you can build such a thing with so many challenges, so I mean, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you should have a vision of 20-25 years minimum. Even I have learned this very lately, that everything needs to be dealt with a lot of patience. So even if I am getting into hospitality and it is 2 years old, I need at least 20 years to reach somewhere.
Right.
And each and every step should be small. I cannot compare it to my real estate venture where everything is growing and everything is flying. But in hospitality, it has to be slow and be done with a 20-year vision. So thing is कि तमे जहाँ भी करूचा, जहाँ भी leap of faith ता नूच गोटे entrepreneurship करिया पई, have patience. Things will take time. I think 10 years you did great. लोको माने 20, 25, 30 years
30 years like तार जो अच्छी ना जो गोटे calculation गोटे अच्छी entrepreneurship रे ये रे जे first year रे 20% of the people go back to their job.
Yeah.
In another 3 years, another 30% of the people go back to their job. After 6 years, only 30% of the people survive. Out of that, 0.5%, 0.5 or 0.05% are successful.
Okay.
That's the overall US, that's the survey of US, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I think the percentage must be better in India.
better now, I think it has changed in last 5 years with the new way of living, new thinking processes and all. It has changed, but still there are stories, failure stories are there are a lot of stories, right? So I think only thing I have learned in last several years is patience. Like you have to have patience, and that has helped in my family life, that has helped in while driving also, right? Because I'm already road race रे आगुरु मते बाटो छाडनी, that has helped. थाओ जाओ that is okay. That's fine.
It teaches you a lot in life. Mane entrepreneurship teaches you so much in life, that everything will happen at the right time. You have to wait.
I think the person I was in 2007-8 or maybe 2010-11 and the person I am, I think I've changed in last 5 years. In 2016, 17, 18, this completely changed because two things, major things I always believe. Patience. The other thing is always be a part of the solution.
Yeah.
Don't be a part of the problem. So, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏବେ ବି that happens कि ଏବେ ବି ପିଲା ଯଦି ମୋ ପାଖରେ କାମ କରୁଥିବ ଆମ ଟିମରେ ପିଲା ଯଦି problem ନେଇକି ଆସିବ ମୁଁ କହେ ତୁ ହିଁ solution ଟା କହ. You tell me the solution. That when I used to go to Anil or Sabya with a problem statement, they tell me the solution is with you. ଏଇଟା ଉପରୁ କି ନାହାନ୍ତି
ତମକୁ
ଖୋଜିବାକୁ ପଡିବ. You do it, you be innovative. ମାନେ ପିଲାର କାନ୍ଧରେ ହାତ ବାପା लो ମା लो କହି କାମ କରା କି ବାଡ଼େଇକି କାମ କରା କି ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ତା ଘର ବନ୍ଦ ଯା ତା whatever you want to do, you do it, you have to do it, right? So always be a part of the solution. Never like problem ତ ସବୁବେଳେ ଆସିବ, right? And ଏବେ ଯୋଉ ଇଏଟା ଆସୁଛି ଯେ ମୁଁ ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଇୟରରେ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ଟ କଲି ଇଏ କଲି ସେ କଲି ମୁଁ କାଲି VC ଫଣ୍ଡିଂ ଆଣିବି ଇଏ କରିବି ସେ କରିବି, that is like
no, you work for VC funding, the VC funding will never come.
that is model is not sustainable. जी भी ଆସିବ ସେ ମାଗଣା ଆସିବ କି, right? ମାନେ he will squeeze you to an extent ମାନେ ଭାବି ବି ପାରିବନି. So you make sure that you reach to a point where you can call the shots and you find out a partner who are ready to grow with you, right? Not that कि
Will sustain your vision.
हाँ, sustain your vision, right? Other than माने तमे जने ये कला परे हाँ से product टाको ये करी फोपाड़ दला सेमती नहीं. You have to grow with कितने company आए थे recently. There are so many कि India team रो sponsor भी है जाइए. Look at them now, what they are doing, right? They must be like in the range of 10,000, 5,000 crores and all that. But anything माने से जो learning टा तो समान, right? So it cannot be माने जितने grow fast कला सेते तळु को जल्दी खसिला बहुत जिंस इतरे ये है गलानी. तेनु patience has to be there. If you want to make money, there are definitely different ways to make money. So money ye nahi. Kintu always another thing I believed a lot, always give back to the society where you come from, right? By employment, by whatever way you can give it back.
Whatever way you can help.
Whatever way we can help. So ଆମର ଗୋଟେ vision ଥିଲା ଯେ ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର slide when you used to have sales presentations and all that on the HR slides, we had a like join as a friend, work as a friend, leave as a friend. ମାନେ ଆମର ପିଲା ଯୋଉ ଅଛନ୍ତି different corners of the world, different, they have so much of respect for us, ମାନେ 4 of us, and there are 2 other gentlemen who joined between 2011 ଆମ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆହୁରି ବି ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଆସି ଯୋଡ଼ି ହେଇଥିଲେ, senior people who part of our core team, who became part of our core team because they bring in those skills which we didn't have, right? And I tell you another success story here. Maybe I was thinking, ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଆଜି ସକାଳେ କଥା ଦେଖୁଥିଲି ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଆମ success storyରେ, you know how many people from TQ has gone out and created another organizations? 5 of them. 4 are in Bhubaneswar. 1 guy is in Mumbai. 5 of them. ସେମାନଙ୍କର ସବୁବେଳେ ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ when they meet us ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ, this is our pride. ଏଥିରେ we don't need money for this. No money can buy this. They say you Sabya sir, Anil sir, Sibasis sir, Prabhi sir, Prafulla sir, ମାନେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଥିଲା ପିଲା ତ ଆଜି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସାର୍ ଡାକନ୍ତି, ଆମର ତ ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ସାର୍ ଡାକିବା ମାନସ ସାର୍, you guys are our inspiration. ମାନେ 4 organizations are in Infocity. Can you imagine? ସେଇ ପିଲା ଆମ କମ୍ପାନୀରୁ ବାହାରି ଆମ ସାଙ୍ଗେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ, ଅଲଗା କମ୍ପାନୀ ଯାଇଥିଲେ. They are running organizations of, one guy is having 10 people, another guy is 50 people, another guy is 30 people. There is another guy in Mumbai who's running 20 people. So they are running organizations.
So that is the inspiration.
That is the ମାନେ ଆମକୁ କେତେ ଖୁସି ଲାଗୁଛି. ମୁଁ ମାନେ ଏଇସବୁ ଜିନିଷଟା ମାନେ ଆମେ ତ ଆମେ ନର୍ମାଲି ଆମେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଏତେ ମାନେ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଏତେ ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ସନ୍ କରୁ ଇଏ କରୁ. ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ୟୁଏସ୍ର ଗୋଟେ କନଫରେନ୍ସରେ ଯାଇଥିଲି. there is a small organization was part of that conference. The CEO of the organization lady, she was very senior to us. ମାନେ ବହୁତ ସିନିୟର ଲୋକ ଥିଲେ. She came to me, ମୁଁ ତାକୁ introduce କଲି, I'm Sibasis, I'm from Capgemini. ମାନେ ଆମେ we were all introduced. No, who doesn't know you? You all are our inspirations. ମାନେ ମୋତେ ତ ଖୁସି ଲାଗିଲା. ମାନେ Indian guy, Indian lady. She was, ତାଙ୍କ organization was sold to another top 5 organization last year. ସେମାନେ ବି ଛୋଟ କମ୍ପାନୀ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରିଥିଲେ. ସେ ମୋତେ 2022ରେ ଦେଖାଇଥିଲେ, 2022ରେ. ସେ ମୋତେ କହିଲେ, who doesn't know you? You are inspiration to us. You, Prabir, Sabya, you are all man inspiration to us, right? I said, बापरे, लोक चिंचनी जाओ मुझे.
Plus, you know, Odisha maybe is not a place where people wants to start a business or people intend to start a business or don't have family business. So we need examples like you.
Right.
We need inspirations like
Right,
you
right.
to maybe, you know, for a person to take that leap of faith.
Right. कि I can, it's doable. ଏମିତି ନାହିଁ ଯେ ମାନେ ମାନେ ଇଏ ନାହିଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଆ ମାନେ ତମେ ସବୁବେଳେ ସେ ଯୋଉ ମୁଣ୍ଡ ରଖିବ ଯେ ମାନେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଆମର 3 Idiotsର ଡାଇଲଗ ଅଛି, ମାନେ ତମେ ଏକ୍ସେଲେନ୍ସ ପଛରେ ଦୌଡ଼, ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ପଇସା ଆସିବ. And obviously another thing, even though you get that money, I feel ମାନେ ମୋ ଯୋଉ ମଝିରେ ଯୋଉ ଲାଇଫଷ୍ଟାଇଲଟା ଖରାପ ହେଇଥିଲା ବିକଜ ଅଫ୍ ମାନେ ଦରମା ଫରମା ନଥିଲା, my lifestyle hasn't changed. ସେମ୍ ଖାଉଛି ପିଉଛି, ଆମର ଖାଇବା ପିଇବା ତ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସେଇ ମାନେ ଚାଲିଛି, ଖାଇବା ପିଇବା ଚାଲିଛି, ଇଏ ଚାଲିଛି, ସେଇ ସମାନ ନର୍ମାଲ ଲାଇଫଷ୍ଟାଇଲ.
So coming to Khaya Piva, so this is an interesting topic. So you've been in US all throughout after the acquisition.
Yes, 2017, 16.
Bhubaneswar कौन miss करছো? Bhubaneswar कौन miss करছো US and केमती recreate करছো?
ରିକ୍ରିଏଟ୍ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ବହୁତ ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ତମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଭାବିବ ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଏଣ୍ଟରପ୍ରେନ୍ୟୁରିଆଲ ସ୍କିଲ୍ ଦେଖୁଛ ଯେ ଆର ଲୋକଠୁ ଆଉଟପୁଟ୍ ଆସୁନି, ତମେ କ'ଣ କରିବ ନିଜେ କଲର ଟେକିକି ମୁଁ ତେଣୁ ନିଜେ ରୋଷେଇ କରେ ସେଇଭଳିଆ ଇଏ, ମାନେ ନଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କି ମାଇ ୱାଇଫ୍ ଡଜଣ୍ଟ ମେକ୍ ଗୁଡ୍ ଫୁଡ୍, ସି ମେକ୍ସ ଇଟ୍. ସୋ ଏମିତି ନାହିଁ, ତେଣୁ ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡ଼ା ଡେଲିକେସି ଗୁଡ଼ା ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ମିସ୍ କରିବ. ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ଆମର ଦେଖ ଆମର Odia by culture, ଆମର simple food.
But I always say Odia food is the most underestimated food of India.
ଆମର ସେଇଥିରୁ ସବୁ କନସେପ୍ଟ ମାନେ ବେସିକାଲି ଯୋଉ କହନ୍ତି ଯେ କ'ଣ ଗରିବୀରୁ ଲୋକ ସବୁ ଇଏ କରନ୍ତି, ଲୋକ ଭାବନ୍ତି ଯେ ଓ ପଖାଳ ଇଜ ଡେଲିକେସି, ପଖାଳ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଡେଲିକେସି। ଲୋକଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଡାଲି ପାଇଁ ପଇସା ନଥିଲା, ଲୋକ ପଖାଳ କାଟ କଲେ, ପଖାଳ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଏଇଟା ଖାଇଲେ, ରାଇଟ୍? So basically ଆମର food habit remains the same. Other than that ki I travel a lot within US because of my nature of my job, because I have to meet client. Every Monday to Thursday I travel.
Okay. Even in US, oh Baba, that is the most. For me, something if you say travel for work, मते जरो ही जाए.
I think consulting रे consulting रे there are मोर हिसाब करी जाए जे ब्रेकफास्ट टा को एयरपोर्ट रे कि डिनर टा को एयरपोर्ट रे मोर भी अभ्यास हो गलानी आई एम यूज्ड टू दिस. सो मंडे मॉर्निंग टू नहीं कि थर्सडे आफ्टरनून जाए. बिरयानी इज स्टिल ए फॉरेन फूड फॉर अस, राइट? बिरयानी टा भलो लागे, बिरयानी इज स्टिल फॉरेन फूड. कहीं आमर जोटा नहीं सेटा मटन कसार झोलर जो मजा आसे तो बिरयानी रे अच्छी भलो, नो डाउट,
But mutton curry remains the top.
So I think we replicate that to दहीबरा, आलूदम हला, गुगनी हला, चाट हला. So जहाँ भी ये रहला सीजन हिसाब रे
You are still in South Carolina?
हाँ, साउथ से कोलंबिया रे
ओडिया कम्युनिटी अच्छी सी.
ओडिया कम्युनिटी भला ओडिया कम्युनिटी साउथ कोलंबिया इज अ वेरी स्मॉल सिटी. साउथ कैरोलिना इज अ वेरी स्मॉल स्टेट, बट मु सेठी रही जाईची. सेठी बढ़िया ओडिया कम्युनिटी गोटे बढ़ी जाईची. आमे सेही अराउंड रे 70% of that Odias are from T-Cube also, right? So आमे सब एकाठी जाइथिलु सेही टाइम रे, से जो
like extended family.
So सेही एटी से माने काम करथिले, से माने सो सेठी जाइथिले. तापरे आमे सो सेटू कंटिन्यू करची. And people are nowadays, because they are missing their home, right? People are मु केबे घर दिया छेनापोड़ खाइ नथली. There is some people around, there is a lady मो वाइफ रो संग, she makes finest छेनापोड़ as comparable to this place, right? So people have started जे हम तो एटी तो खाइ परबे नहीं किनी की, तेणु आमे बनेवा से बढ़िया. सो से ही लेन रे हमरो चालची एबे जे की छेनापोड़ स्पेशलाइजेशन कलानी, कि पखाळ संगे तारो आइटम गुरे स्पेशलाइजेशन हेची, कार मटन रे हेची. मु रिसेंटली
That is your way to preserve the culture.
हमर गोटे वे जे जो एबे विंटर जा सरला पर एप्रिल हमर जो पणा संक्रांति अछि, पणा संक्रांति रे हमर गोटे पणा संक्रांति दिन तो आइंस खाइबनु, पर से वीकेंड रे गोटे हमर हुए गोटे खाली ओनली स्टार्टर्स, वी डोंट गो इनटू राइस एंड ओनली स्टार्टर्स.
स्टार्टर में चिंगुड़ी भजा, माछ भजा,
चिंगुड़ी चप, मोर से हला मटन चपटा. सो समस्त गोटे गोटे पेटेंटेड हो जाइए. सो से मोर हला मटन चपटा. तेणु से पैटर्न में which is like food is a thing which connects people, culture, anything, right?
It gets me my biggest smile.
Right? I think, see, I believe people जो मैंने फूडी जो मैंने खाया पसंद से निजे तो खाती, आउ गोटे लोक खाइबार से बहुत खुशी होती. मोर सांगे गोटे लोक खाऊ जो भल से खाऊ ना, मुझे खुशी ने देखो हाउ दैट्स गिव्स द बेस्ट
सैटिस्फैक्शन कि जण को भलो खाइबाटा कोइली.
हां एंड आउट कॉन्सेप्ट अछि फूड रे. तुम यदि मु कहे बेले वाइफ को यदि भलो खाइबा गला ना, आज कनेक्शन है गला, दिस इज इट,
यू बॉन्ड ओवर
तुम्हारा आज लाइफ टा सफल है गला. सो दैट इज हाउ फूड डेफिनेटली कनेक्शन टा इज नथिंग कैन बीट इट, राइट?
So, with so much of conversation about food, ebe bhoko lagilani, and maybe what do we have today? This is a food section. Je we guest asu, we serve them some local delicacy. तो ଆଜି କ'ଣ ହେଇଛି, ଆଜି କ'ଣ ଆସିଛି?
ମୁଁ ତ ଏବେ ଛେନା ବିଷୟରେ ହିଁ କଥା ହଉଥିଲି.
ହଁ, ଛେନା. So we have ଛେନା ଝିଲି from ନିମାପଡ଼ା sweets.
ଗଲାବେଳେ ଗାଡ଼ିଟା ନିମାପଡ଼ାରେ ରୁହେ, ମାଲପୁଆ ଡାଲମା ତା ସାଙ୍ଗକୁ ଛେନା ଝିଲିଟା ଖାଇକି
Oh, I love ନିମାପଡ଼ା ଝିଲି. Any day above gulab jamun.
ହଁ ନା this is nothing like it.
Yeah. So what all places do you eat in Bhubaneswar? बाहर असली
भुवनेश्वर मु ओल्ड स्कूल तुम मत कहब जे सेठी पटिया ए पब रे या मिलुची कि वन थिंग तो तमे भी तो सेटा फैन थिबो मकरम रो बिरयानी. सेटा तो आम टीम रे तो सेटा
ତମ କ୍ରିକେଟ ଟିମ ର ସେଇଟା ମାନେ ଅଫିସିଆଲ ଖାଇବା।
ପିପଲ ଆମ ଟିମରେ ବହୁତ ପିଲା ଅଛନ୍ତି ଯିଏକି ମକରମକୁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମେ ପ୍ରେସିଡେଣ୍ଟ କରିଦେବୁ, ମାନେ ଦେ ଲଭ୍ ଇଟ୍ ସୋ ମଚ୍। ସୋ ମକରମ ବିରିୟାନୀ ମାନେ ମୋର ସେଇଟା ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ମାନେ ଆଗରୁ ହେଇଯାଇଥାଏ, ମାନେ ମକରମ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ବିଟ୍ ମକରମ। ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ, ସେଇଟା ସଣ୍ଡେ ହବ ଏବେ, ଆମର ଫାଇନାଲ ଅଛି ସଣ୍ଡେ CPL ର, ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ହବ। ଦେର୍ ଆର୍ ସ୍ମଲର ପ୍ଲେସେସ୍ ଯୋଉଠିକି ବହୁତ ଆଗରୁ ସେମାନେ କରିକି ରଖିଛନ୍ତି, ଯେମିତି ଆମର ଏମିତି ଯୋଉ ଏ ବାପୁଜୀ ନଗର ଲେନ୍ରେ ସେ ଯୋଉ ଆଗରେ ଗୋଟେ ରେଷ୍ଟୁରାଣ୍ଟ ଥିଲା ଯିଏ ଚିଲି ଚିକେନ ହରିକା ବନଉଥିଲେ, କି ସେ ଯୋଉ ମୋଗलाई ବାଲା ବନଉଥିଲା, ସେ ତାଙ୍କ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଗଲାଣି। ହଁ, ସେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଗଲାଣି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତାଙ୍କର ସେଇଭଳିଆ ସେ ଯୋଉ ଇଏଟା ଅଛି, ଯୋଉ ଭେନେସିନ ଉପରେ ଯୋଉଟା ଅଛି ସେଇଠି ଗୋଟେ ଦୋସା ଖାଇବା ପାଇଁ ସେଇ ଓଲ୍ଡ ପ୍ରିୟା
ମୋର ବିନସିନ
ମାନେ ଭେନେସିନ 8 ନମ୍ବର ସାଇଡ୍, ଏପଟେ ପ୍ରିୟା ସାଇଡ୍। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ପଟ୍ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟା କି ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଆଜି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ କେହି ଦେଖିବାର ନାହିଁ, ଆମ ଫ୍ରେଣ୍ଡ ସର୍କଲ, ମୋର ଗୋଟେ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ୍ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଅଛି, ତା ନାଁ ହେଲା ଉଲ୍ଲାସ ଭାଇ। ମୋର କେଶରୀ ଟକିଜ୍, କେଶରୀ ଟକିଜ୍ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମେ ପାର୍କିଂ ଥ୍ରୁ ପଶିବ, ସେ ବାଁ ପଟରେ ଗୋଟେ, ଆଜି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ବି ସେ ଲଣ୍ଠନ କିଣିନି, ଗୋଟେ ଡିବି ଧରିକି ସେ ଚୁଙ୍ଗୁଡ଼ି ଚପ୍ ଛାଣେ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ମାନେ ଆଇ ଗୋ ଏଭ୍ରି ଡେ ବିକଜ ଅଫ BDA ୱାର୍କ। ମୁଁ ଦେଖିନି କୋଉଠି
ଇଭିନିଂରେ ଥାଏ। ଆଉ ସେ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ତମେ
କେଶରୀ
କେଶରୀ ଟକିଜ୍ ପଶିବ, ଏମିତି ପଶୁଥିବ, ରାଇଟ୍ ଗଲେ ମାନେ କେଶରୀ ଟକିଜ୍କୁ ତମେ ଆଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବିହାର ଗୋଟେ ଆସିଲ, ଲେଫ୍ଟ ନେଲ, ଲେଫ୍ଟ ନେଇକି କେଶରୀକୁ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ପଶିଗଲ, ସେ ପଶିବା ବାଁ ପଟେ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକଟେ ଠିଆ ହେଇଥିବ, ଯୋଉଠି ଆମର 80sରେ ସାଉଥ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ ଥିଲା ତା ସାଇଡ୍ରେ। ସିଏ ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ଡବାରେ ଅଳ୍ପ ଚୁଙ୍ଗୁଡ଼ି ମସଲା, ଅଳ୍ପ ସିଏ ସସ୍ ତ କହେନି, ସକ୍ସ କହେ, ସେ ସେତିକି ନେଇକି ଆସେ, ସେତିକି ସାରିକି ଯାଏ। ସେଇଟା ମୋର ମାନେ ମୋର +2 ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟରିଂ, ଆମର ଏଇ ଟି କ୍ୟୁବ୍ ଷ୍ଟୋରି ଇଏରେ ମୁଁ ମାନେ ଆମର ପଟିଆରୁ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟାବେଳେ ଆସୁଥିଲି, ସବୁ ପିଲାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ନେଇକି ଯାଉଥିଲି। କିଛିଟା ପିଲା ଚୁଙ୍ଗୁଡ଼ି ଖାଉଥିଲେ, କିଛିଟା ପିଲା ଅଣ୍ଡା ଖାଉଥିଲେ, ଚୁଙ୍ଗୁଡ଼ି ଚପ୍, ଅଣ୍ଡା ଚପ୍। ମାନେ ସେଇଟା ମାନେ ମୁଁ ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ନେଭର ଟେଷ୍ଟେଡ୍ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଲାଇକ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍। ଓଲ୍ଡ ସ୍କୁଲ ଚୁଙ୍ଗୁଡ଼ି ଚପ୍, ମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଚୁଙ୍ଗୁଡ଼ିଟାରେ ଚୋପା ଛଡ଼ା ହେଇନଥିବ, ସେ ଯୋଉ ରାଗବାଲା ଆଳୁରେ ସେ ସେଇଠି ଛାଣିକି ତମକୁ ଷ୍ଟୋରି। ଆଉ ଦହିବରା ଆଳୁଦମ୍ and all, I think if you look at it, ଦହିବରା ଆଳୁଦମ୍ and all last 10 years ହେଲା ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଇଏ ହେଲା। ମାନେ ମୁଁ ମାନେ ଲୋକ people may not like it, but I tell you 10-15 years ହେଲା ଯୋଉଠି ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଏଜୁକେସନାଲ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ବହୁତ ହେଇଗଲା, କାହିଁକି ଏଟା ସବୁ that serves as your brunch, right? ସକାଳୁ ଖାଇଦେଲ 4ଟା ଯାଏଁ ଭିଡ଼ି ହେଇଯିବ। ତା ଆଗରୁ ଆମର ସବୁ ଯୋଉ ଉପମା ଗୁଗୁନି ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ସର୍ଭ କରୁଥିଲା।
Anna stall is always a Bhubaneswar thing. ମାନେ ଆଳୁଦମ୍ ଦହିବରା was not there. ମାନେ ସବୁ ଏରିଆରେ ଗୋଟେ ଆନା ଷ୍ଟଲ୍ ଥିବେ। ଆମର ମୁଁ ଯେବେ ସ୍କୁଲରେ ପଢୁଥିଲି, ବୁଧେଶ୍ୱରୀ କଲୋନୀ ପାଖରେ ଗୋଟେ ଆନା ଷ୍ଟଲ୍, ଏକ୍ସେଲେଣ୍ଟ ଆନା ଷ୍ଟଲ୍।
ଆମର CRPରେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି,
ଛକ ଉପରେ,
ଛକ ଉପରେ ବଲରୀ ଭିତରୁ ଯିଲା ବେଳକୁ ଯଦି ଆନା ଷ୍ଟଲରୁ ଟିକେ ପଇସା ଅଧିକା ଥିବ, ତାହେଲେ ତମେ ବଲରରେ ଖାଇବ।
Ballari is an institution. ମାନେ 35-year-old, one of the hands down the best Odia restaurant, or you say
I think ଏତେ ଆସିଲେ ପରେ ବି nothing can beat it.
No. And nobody can serve those podas. The poda, chingudi, poda, macha.
Even normal food ବି, ମାନେ anything you order, suppose you order rice, ଡାଲି, ମାନେ ମିଲ୍ କଲେ ବି ତାର ଟେଷ୍ଟ ଆଉ ସେ ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଯେ ଆମର ଯେତେବେଳେ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟରିଂ ଯେତେବେଳେ ନା, ଯେତେବେଳେ ପଇସା ଇଏ ଥାଏ, ଆମେ ସେଇଠି ଆନା ପାଖରେ ପଇସା ଟିକେ ଅଧିକା ହେଲା ମାନେ ବଲେରୀ ସେଇ ଲାଇନରେ। ଆଉ ଆମର 6 ନମ୍ବରରେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି ଆନା, ଗୋଟେ 6 ନମ୍ବରରେ ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ ବେସିକ୍ ସାଇନ୍ସ ପଢୁଥିଲି OUT, ସେଇ ଏରିଆରେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି।
ଆମର 6 ନମ୍ବର ରବି ଭାଇନା,
ସିଏ ସବୁ ଓଲ୍ଡ ସ୍କୁଲ ସବୁ। ଯେମିତି ଆମର ଏଠି ଅଖିଳ ଥାଏ, ସିଏ ତ ବହୁତ ଲାଇନ୍ ଚାଟ୍ ବିକୁଛି ଯୋଉ ରୂପାଲି ଛକରେ, ସେଇଟା ବି ସିଏ ଯେତେ ଚାଟ୍ ବାଲା ହେଲେ ବି ୟୁ ଅଲୱେଜ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଅପ୍ ଗୋଇଂ ଦେୟାର, ମାନେ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇଏ। ସେଇଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ ଆମ ବେଳୁ ଥିଲେ, ସେମାନେ ସେମିତି ଅଛନ୍ତି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଇ ଫିଲ୍ ଯୋଉ ଦହିବରା ବିରିୟାନୀ ଏ କଲଚର, ଏଇଟା ଆସିଲା ଲାଷ୍ଟ 15 years, ଯେବେଠୁ ଯୋଉ ଏଜୁକେସନାଲ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁଟ୍।
ଆଳୁଦମ୍ ଦହିବରା ଖାଲି ବାପୁଜୀ ନଗରରେ ମିଳୁଥିଲା, ଆଉ ମେ ବି ୟୁନିଟ୍ 1 ପେଟ୍ରୋଲ ଟାଙ୍କି ଆଗରେ ମିଳୁଥିଲା, ବାସ୍ ସେତିକି।
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ତମେ ଜାଣିଥିବ, ଏଇଠି ବାପୁଜୀ ନଗରରେ ଏଇଠି ତଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଯୋଉ ପାପଡ଼ି ଚାଟ୍ ବିକେ ସାମ୍ନାରେ, ତାର ଭାଇ ପୁଅ ଏବେ ଯାଇ ବିକୁଛି ରୂପାଲି ଛକ,
ମାୟାରାମ।
ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ସେ ମତେ ବାପା ନେଇକି ଆସିଥିଲେ ଯେତେବେଳେ, ବାବା ଆମକୁ ମାନେ ଶନିବାର ରବିବାର ହେଲେ ଭଲ ପଢିଥିବ ଯଦି ଟ୍ୟୁସନ ଫ୍ୟୁସନ ଆସିଲା ପରେ ପାଠ ପଢିଲା ପରେ ଯୋଉ ଏଇ ପାପଡି ଚାଟଟା ନହେଲେ ସେ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରିୟାରେ ଦୋସାଟା ଦୋଜ ଆର୍ ଯୋଉଟାକି ଆମେ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ କରି ରହିଛୁ ଇଭେନ୍ 15 years ago ଅଲସୋ ଆମେ ଏଇଗୁଡ଼ା ହିଁ ସବୁ ଖାଉଥିଲୁ ବାକି ତାପରେ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ କମ୍ପେୟାର ଟୁ ଦ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଲେଭେଲ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ପ୍ରିୟା ପରେ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ସ୍ୱସ୍ତିର ଯୋଉ ଏଇଟା ଯୋଉ ମେନ୍ ସ୍ୱସ୍ତି ନଟ୍ ଦ
Purna
Purna
Swasti.
Swasti.
Bakery.
Swastira bakery and Swastira food was always good.
So I remember my wife, we went to eat casino rolls. Casino rolls even Nanda rolls opposite Pinasin. And we just realized we took our kids to eat roll, Nanda roll. My kids are like 5-year-old right now. I have twin boys. And me and my wife, we are eating rolls from his shop when we were 2-year, 3-year-old, or maybe 4-year, 5-year-old. But it's now imagine how many years it has been.
स्टेशन साइड रे जो विनीत अछि जो पाव भाजी बिके से बहुत दिन लागै
केला पाव भाजी अगेन
हां ना ना मोर मन नै हमर इंस्टीट्यूशन दोस आर इंस्टीट्यूशन माने दे कैन नॉट बी माने दे कैन नॉट गो रॉन्ग माने तांको सेमानंग देरे भी एपर्यंत भी से जो तांकर माने आजिकली जोटी तुम जीव गोटे एक्स्ट्रा पाव मांगिदेला माने सी गोटे तांकर जेंति माने कौन गोटे जेंति बड़ क्राइम हेले पाव मांगिले से माने सेम नहीं अरे दे दो चलती से सेत पे दे आर सर्वाइविंग राइट सो आई थिंक दोज आर द थिंग्स इवन से जो ओयूटी साइड रे गोटे पापड़ी चाट टिक्की चाट मिले आ गोटे जो गुपचुप से जो ओल्ड स्कूल गुडा सेटा एपर्यंत भी आई मेक श्योर कि माने एमती तो गोटे बोली दे कहीं माने आई एम नॉट दैट फैसिनेटेड बाय ये जो माने इतने ट्रैवल का ये जो नुआ रेस्टोरेंट फूड और ये जो माने ये होची माने ऑल्दो आई ईट माने फैमिली संग गले कोन खाऊ छु बाहर जाऊ छु कोछु कि बट दैट नेवर फैसिनेट्स मी माने नुआ ये फूड रे ये पुराना फूड रे ये रे माने एक नंबर हाट भीतर भी बहुत गुडे बढ़िया होटल अछि बढ़िया खाଇବା दियंती से सब
you need to market the bora and aludom.
यूनिट टू मार्केट रे जो मझी जगह रे बरा आलुदम भाई से माने दैट्स द से बंद हे गलाने
अच्छा ना मु जाइनी माने 6-8 मंथ्स हेला जाई
ना ना मु बहुत दिन तल थर जाइतली मे बी दैट वाज कंस्ट्रक्शन से था से बरा आलुदम रे केते खट्टी गोटे ग्रुप बसथिबो नहीं से जो सेतबे सेटा सब माने टाइल पड़ी नथिला दैट वाज लाइक ए सीमेंट रे एमती हेतला लोक
गाड़ी भी अलाउड थिला
दैट वाज गुड लोगों में टेस्ट भी वो चेंज हलानी पीपल डू नॉट वांट some people want sauce in daibara also that's the most
that is what every kotokia makes fun out of Bhubaneswar
सेटा disaster माने how can that be taste माने तो टेस्ट भी खराब हो जाए दाइबरा रे केन माने नाली सॉस टा केन पकेबो ना ठीक अछि ठीक राग कंचा लंका इज मैनेजेबल कि एक्सेप्टेबल मैनेजेबल ना एक्सेप्टेबल किंतु माने इट्स लोकंर सेल होनी बोली ता लिखि दउछन निजे निजे नाटा निजे सेल्फ डिक्लेयर्ड कटक प्रसिद्ध बढ़िया कटक हैज इज ओन फ्लेवर ऑल्सो राइट
Kotak street food is legendary. It will be always above Bhubaneswar. Yes.
सेनंगर से अलगा से जीरा लंगा गुंडरे टेस्ट अलगा माने लेट्स नॉट गो इनटू द मसला से कटक रे आउटे मु जाए जानी तो ट्राई करते हो मु एक्चुअली छोट दुकान में बहुत खाए मु बड़ दुकान में आई एम नॉट ए बिग फैन सेटा तो एनी डे जाई परियो राइट ते जो रिंग रोड रे तर पसियो काठजोड़ी ब्रिज फास्ट पसला लु गोटे नन्ना मटन अछि
हाँ ना मोर नन्ना मटन इज फुल नखरा वाला
फुल नखरा सेठी आउट अछि पतला झोल मटन पतला झोल रे चर्बी मटन आलू दे के दबा एती छोट प्लेट रे
माने काठजोड़ी ब्रिज पाखरे
काठजोड़ी जतले पसियो सेठी अछि नीलू साहू मिठा दुकान ता साइड रे नन्ना मटन एटा केबे ट्राई करते
हां सेटा ट्राई कर
राइस और पटा आ कि बाकी सब जो चिकन फिकन रे मगा सेटा काम न सो दैट बेटर घरे खायो सो फूड रे आई बीन ए फूडी ऑल अलोंग हमर मटन जब जो प्रोफेसर पड़ा कटक रे
ओह एक्सीलेंट मटन जॉब
सी तर मटन टा खोजिया पड़ियो इनटे कोठी गोटे किंतु
बट द टेस्ट इज अनमैचेबल
राइट से काकुड़ी फाकुड़ी देकी माने गोटे से गोटे पर्व पूरा काकुड़ी मसला ये से देकी माने सेटा भल कटक रे बट मुझे जो राम मंदिर पाखरे गली हेची एते हेची आई डोंट गेट फैसिनेटेड बाय दोस फूड माने
एवरीथिंग इज सेम माने इसे किछि ये टेस्ट नहीं
ତାଠୁ ବେଟର ଆମର ସେ ଗାନ୍ଧୀ ମାର୍କେଟରେ ଗୋଟେ ହଣ୍ଡା ଧରିକି ଆସି ଗୁଗୁନି ବିକୁଛି ଏବେ।
रेनबो रेस्टोरेंट साइड जोड़ा ओ एक्सीलेंट गाय
ବହୁତ ବଢିଆ ସେଟା। ସେଇ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ମାନେ ସେଇ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ବେସିକାଲି ଆଇ ଲୁକ୍ ଫର ଟୁ ଦୋଜ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ବିକଜ ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଟେଷ୍ଟଟା ମତେ କ'ଣ ଲାଗେ ସେଟା ଅନଆଡଲ୍ଟରେଟେଡ। ମାନେ ସେମାନେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ବିକଜ ଦେ ଆର୍ ସେଲିଂ ଇଟ୍ ଆଟ୍ ଏ, ମୁଁ ବି ଏଥିରେ ବି କଷ୍ଟିଂ କରିଛି ମୁଁ, ମାନେ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ନଟ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ରେଷ୍ଟୁରାଣ୍ଟ ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରି, ମୁଁ କଷ୍ଟିଂ କରୁଛି ବିକଜ ଦେ ଆର୍ ସେଲିଂ ଆଟ୍ ଏ ଭେରି ଲୋ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍। ସେମାନେ ଚାହାନ୍ତି ଯେ ମୁଁ କମ୍ ମସଲା ପକେଇବି, କମ୍ ତେଲ ପକେଇବି। ମୁଁ ଯଦି ସେଭ୍ କରିକି ଭଲ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ବନେଇ ପାରୁଛି, ୱାଇ ସୁଡ୍ ଆଇ ମେକ୍ ଇଟ୍ ମୋର୍ ମସଲାଦାର? ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ଟେଷ୍ଟଟା ଭଲ ଲାଗେ, ରାଇଟ୍? ସେ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ଦ ଫଣ୍ଡାମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ଅଫ୍ ଇଟ୍।
एवरीथिंग माने निज मापरे अछि,
ନିଜ ମାପରେ ଅଛି।
मेजरमेंट अछि। आमे फूड विषय कथा हेले राती जिवो
ସିରିୟସଲି ମାନେ
So right, Midway, next we have some questions regarding what is your experience as an entrepreneur and Kimti Rohila, your journey. Now I have some questions from you, right? So tell me something. Uh, what's stopping Bhubaneswar to become the next IT hub in this country? Can it become the next IT hub? Kaun chalichi? What is the scenario right now? Can companies grow out of here or cannot grow? If cannot grow, what is the problem?
see the problems, see all the cities you see who have grown, right? All the cities who have grown, you have examples of what? Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, even to an extent Calcutta, right?
Yeah.
Calcutta,
And Chennai to an extent.
Chennai is in Bangalore range now, right? So if you see, I tell my example. I worked in IBM Calcutta in 2005, 2003. Sorry, not 2005. 2003. I was in. At that point in time, Bhubaneswar has the IT strength of 5,000 to 6,000 people.
Yes.
Infosys was 2,000-3,000 people.
And rest
Rest like there are other small, and TCS had some people. Wipro had some people. That's all about it.
Wipro nahi. So I remember my wife.
Satyam was 5,000. Sorry, 500.
500.
I went from Satyam to IBM. So ଯେତେବେଳେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ 5,000-6,000 ଥିଲା କି ଭାବ ଆହୁରି small companies were there, say consider it 8,000,
I tell you
10,000.
my experience. My wife was in Wipro in 2009, and 2011 we were about to get married. So she decided ठीक अछि ମୁଁ भुवनेश्वर विप्रो रे apply कर दउछि, ठीक अछि. And Bhubaneswar Wipro had infrastructure as big as Infosys, but not a single IT job. Everything was BPO.
BPO 25 people ଥିଲେ, 25ଟା IT job ଥିଲେ ସେତେବେଳେ, ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି. So because 2011 ରେ ଆମେ ବି ତା Wipro ପଛପଟେ ଥିଲୁ ନା. So Calcutta and Bhubaneswar started together in 2003-4, right?
Yeah.
We were 8,000-10,000. Calcutta was 20,000-25,000 because it's a big city. 20,000-25,000. Now Calcutta, तुम recently ଯାଇଥିବ जो Rajarhat, Newtown, and that city is built based on IT.
Yes.
Right? It has excelled.
Yes.
Right? So one of the key things ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ମୁଁ ବି ଆମର ମୋ personal experience କହୁଛି, nothing against any government, ମୁଁ କାହାକୁ ଇଏ କରୁନି, ମାନେ I think they have supported us lot, right? Government ବି ଆମେ government project ବି କରିଛୁ. One of the things was କି ଆମର ସେତେବେଳେ ଯୋଉ ଇଏ ଥିଲା 2003-4 ରେ mindset, the mindset was government used to support outsiders, internal support बहुत कम थिला. If I had to go to meet a IT big wigs from a government, I had to stand outside for a day to get an appointment. But a guy from Wipro Infosys can walk into his desk. That was the difference. Rest भाबो जदि meeting टारे एतिकी difference अछि in terms of the processing of a project to नहीं कि delivery to नहीं कि whole life cycle टारे कितने delay.
And we are not even talking about tax exemptions and help from the government.
No.
That has never been there.
ମୁଁ ଖାଲି meet କରିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛି ତମକୁ. I'm not asking for project. I'm just want to meet you. That was the difference. So again, ଯେତେବେଳେ 2011-12 ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲୋକ people got to know what is TQ because we were part of that STPI ର ଥିଲୁ, cycle ରେ ଥିଲୁ. Then people started giving us, okay, these are people. Then so difference ଟା ହେଉଛି maybe one major realize Bhubaneswar as a communication point of view still hasn't improved. If you look at it, can somebody fly in the morning and fly out in the evening? Answer is no.
To metro cities, yes.
Even to Bombay, we may not. You have to go in the afternoon, right? So, say जो बिजनेस ପାଇଁ जो कम्युनिकेशन एटा दरकार सेटा बहुत डिफिकल्ट ये थिला वर्तमान हेलानी किंतु द वे थिंग्स आर जो लाइक मध्य प्रदेश नॉन आईटी सिटीज दे हैव एक्सेल्ड लखनऊ दे हैव एक्सेल्ड राइट गुड़गांव फुरगांव तो मैंने on definite level so we haven't excelled that level
But why? What is the reason?
we have the talent we have I think one of
I think Bhubaneswar, Odisha has best of the talents. माने IT sector कुआ गले see base on the basic side Eastern India रे the best education is Bhubaneswar and Odisha.
It's a educational hub.
Educational hub. So what is it stopping to become an IT hub?
Right. So I think that was the maybe mindset the way government has been से जो माने गोटे जो thought process रू pen paper रू construction नहीं कि तंगर येटा बनिया भितरे it takes a lot of time.
Maybe you know we need something as radical as a gift city in Ahmedabad. कि 5 लाख 10 लाख square foot ready अच्छी just come open your shop. सीटा नहीं मैंने गोटे आईटी कंपनी आसिले रेंटर्स देखिले ता मुंडो पिटी तो
basically rent is becoming a bigger concern challenge to survive right because in this changing world every penny saved is every penny earned right तमे यदि सेव करिवनी केंति माने यू टू अगेन ऑपरेशनल टा देखिया पड़िबा ना माने नो मनी फ्री रे आसुनी कोटू सो सेटा दैट इज ए बिकमिंग ए चैलेंज नाउ Cognizant, Accenture, everybody has come in also. So, and they are also targeting 5,000 people, 3,000 people. Basically, I was talking to someone yesterday. Unless that mass population is not coming, then the city will not grow, right? Because all the cities we see that has grown in like Hyderabad, Pune, look at Pune, where it is now. बॉम्बे तो मूलरू फाइनेंशियल कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया थिला दिल्ली तो कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया थिला कैलकाटा वाज कैपिटल इन 1900 राइट सो दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव बीन ऑल बिगेस्ट लेगेसी राइट इवन चेन्नई आल्सो मद्रास राइट बट ये जो सिटी रा छोटे छोटे सिटी रा ये करिवारे माने आईटी हैज प्लेड ए बिग रोल
व्हाट मोर कैन गवर्नमेंट कैन डू लाइक व्हाट मोर शुड बी डन माने रेडी प्लग इन प्लेसेस इज वन and that overall processing of I think that has become better now with connectivity to Dubai and Bangkok I see a lot of money going out rather coming in
that is more around tourism.
Yeah, it will not get you business maybe if you get business you get from Singapore. Yeah, which the chief minister is trying and was there for a week last month.
I think those are the things we may get but yeah I think other part is right we have been traditionally Odisha has been the hub for mines, the core industries. Even that is also a good thing.
But you know, with mines, the money get concentrated in two less hands. Right. It doesn't go out to everyone. Doesn't go out to people.
Even mines or maybe some industries related to. Yes. So those are another thing which could because if you're not growing on the IT side of the world, you may go on the core areas, right?
But the good news is Odisha is rising. Right. But I think from like 27, 28 out of the 29 states we are now at 13 and 14. And from top 8 to 14, not a much difference. One more push and we are in top 10.
Yeah, top 10. Again, I always believe Odisha is rising. If you look at the common people like middle class salaried, they are the core of everything, right? What is if they are getting richer or they're getting paid well or that population is increasing, then I think you're heading in the right direction. Maybe another 10 years, which should be good. But yeah, we could have been better if you compare to places like at least Calcutta from a IT point of view.
Did we miss the bus? That is the question.
Yeah, there is nothing. Again, even if entrepreneurship, stock market, wherever it is, the fear of missing out should not be there, right? FOMO, you should go out of it.
Did we miss out on that opportunity? Because we had the right kind of people.
Yeah, you may miss out. The answer is yes, but you can always look forward. The FOMO should not be there, right?
So as we say in the podcast, that next 20 years is of India, and Odisha will definitely grow.
Because there has been saturation coming in a lot of areas like automobile industry. Tamil Nadu has always been the core of automobile industry for last 50 years, not now. People who think like Mahindras and Fords have like 30 years they have their
I have read a story where it was so difficult for Gujarat to take that chunk of automobile sector to their state because Tamil Nadu was like they had everything. They wanted every automobile manufacturer in the state.
Right. Yeah. I think so. I think next, if we like, I was reading in the newspaper 2 days ago. Even though the core industry actually is growing, but there is a problem with the from the port point of view. How they are going to use the say Gopalpur port or Dhamra port or Paradip port. That has to be so
That
every
accessibility is still not convincing.
so there has to be like for anything, any industry to improve, the all ancillaries things has to improve also, right?
The connectivity,
Connectivity has to be
ports.
right. How you may have a good house, you may build a fantastic house with penthouse. If you don't have a road, you'll not be able to sell it, right? Now, if I look at the real estate industry also, like 10 years, 15 years ago, people have built fantastic houses. Approach road, two cars cannot pass each other, right? That's the then I think lot of people then went around the world to see in US what they do. They build the
Town first, the township first.
township first, like road. They name the roads. They have separate other things, amenities first. Then they build the houses.
So maybe this is where Bhubaneswar missed the bus to Chandigarh when it came to real estate. So Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, very similar city. Amar jemti unit tankara with the sectors. But what they did was they remained true to their sectors. They were like until and unless a new sector is not developed, you will not get a plan approval. Amara that approach was not there. So when the housing need and capacity increased, we got into by lanes and all the small villages around the city and all, and that is where the
That is
problem
where I
became
think
huge.
exactly. I think if you look at it, apart from some places in Bhubaneswar, still it is a mess, right? ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଏଇସବୁ ଜିନିଷରେ ବହୁତ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ମାନେ ମୁଁ କ୍ରିଟିକ୍ସ ହେଲେ ଲୋକ ମୋତେ ଖରାପ ବି କହିବେ କିନ୍ତୁ if you look at it, there's areas like this area, maybe this Rajmal area.
Because this is done during independence.
Then that Saidnagar, IRC village and all that. ଆଉ କୋଉଠିକି ବି ଯିବ ଟିକେ ଏଇଠୁ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମୀ ସାଗର ଭିତରୁ ପଶିଯିବ ଏତିକି ପତଳା ରୋଡରେ ଘର ଉପରେ ଚଢିକି ଏତିକି ଯାଇଛି କାହିଁକି ପିପଲ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ବିକମ୍ so critical about this is my space. They didn't think about the future କି ଆଚ୍ଛା ଏଠି ଦିଟା ଗାଡି ଗଲେ କେମିତି ହବ
It was, see, people, yes, people were at fault, yeah, but the bigger fault was the government could not keep up. Like if there was a Satyanagar and IRC village, maybe there must have been more 5 schemes like that. Right. So people would have got plots at cheaper prices and at good places.
Right. I think still that flair is missing in any other.
Yes, now they are introducing townships. They are introducing townships around Bhubaneswar, but few places have gone out of hand. The infrastructure is getting too bad.
I think that is what you have to build that like every ancillary, subsidiary, then only the core will improve, right? Otherwise, everybody has to, it is a complete ecosystem, right? Everybody has to improve, everybody has to be better so that the things fall in place.
One more question which I wanted to ask is, beyond Bhubaneswar, can IT industry travel to places like Sambalpur, Raulkela, Barampur? Is there any scope? Is there any like semane ko grow kari paribe? Can you open a company in Barampur and Sambalpur and do well?
I think a lot of people actually, if you look at it, ମୁଁ ଜାଣିବା ଭିତରେ ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ମୋର there is a friend of mine who started a unit in Bhadrak.
Okay.
ଭଦ୍ରକରେ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରିଥିଲା ନିୟର ଟୁ ଦ ହାଇୱେ ଇଏ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି IT company you can always start. You can build a fantastic infrastructure and at a lower cost definitely ସେଠି cost ଟିକେ କମ୍ ରହିବ land price କମ୍ ରହିବ you can start. କିନ୍ତୁ ତମେ ସେ ଯେଉଁ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ ଲାଇଫଷ୍ଟାଇଲଟା ଦେଇପାରିବ ଲାଇଫଷ୍ଟାଇଲ ମାନେ ମୁଁ କହୁନି ଯେ ଟାଉନ୍ ଦେବ से टाउन टा दब किंतु से माने दैट मीन्स से जो टाउन रे रहियर अछि तांकर लाइफस्टाइल टा सेही बेले हबार अछि
माने गुड हाउसिंग
good
गुड
housing
प्लेसेस
and
टू
good
गो
go
आफ्टर
right so ତା ପାଇଁ କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା how things have grown like if you look at it any other places ସେମାନେ ବମ୍ବେରୁ ଇଏ ହେଇଗଲେ ବମ୍ବେରୁ ସେ ଯୋଉ କାନ୍ଦିବଲି ବାସି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆସିକି ଏବେ ନ୍ୟୁ ମୁମ୍ବାଇ ଏୟାରପୋର୍ଟ ହେଲାଣି ନ୍ୟୁ ଏୟାରପୋର୍ଟ ବମ୍ବେରେ ହେଉଛି ତାପରେ ସେଇଟା ପୁନେକୁ ଏକ୍ସପାଣ୍ଡ ହେଇଗଲାଣି ରାଇଟ୍ ପୁନେରୁ ସେ ଆହୁରି ରାଇଟ୍କୁ ଏକ୍ସପାଣ୍ଡ ହେଇଗଲା ଏବେ ସେମାନେ ନାଗପୁରକୁ ଏକ୍ସପାଣ୍ଡ କଲେ ଲାଇକ୍ ଲୁକ୍ ଆଟ୍ ଗୁଜରାଟ how many cities Gujarat has people know Ahmedabad Baroda Surat Gandhinagar so many cities Rajkot every city is livable city right it is a city not just a town so I think in order to say jo expansion ta out of Bhubaneswar out ଟିକେ ଦୂରକୁ ବି ହବାର ଅଛି you have to pick maybe ଆମର smart city pickup ହେଇଥିଲା ତାପରେ କ'ଣ ଇଏ ହେଲା ମେବି ସେ ଯୋଉ କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି ନା ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ରହୁଛି ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁସନ୍ ହେଉଛି ତାପରେ ରହିଯାଉଛି ଇଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟପ୍ସ ସମୱେର୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ସୋ ମେବି ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ନେକ୍ସଟ ମେବି ଟୁ ଦ ଏଣ୍ଡ କ୍ଲୋଜର୍ କେଉଁ ଜିନିଷଟାର ହେଉନି ରାଇଟ୍ वी आर इन दैट सिचुएशन सो ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ସିଟି ଗୁଡ଼ାର ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଇଏ ଏବେ ବାଙ୍ଗଲୋର ଯେ ମାନେ ବାଙ୍ଗଲୋର ମୋତେ ସେଦିନ ଟିକେ ଜୋରରେ କହୁଥିଲା ଯେ ବାଙ୍ଗଲୋର ଏଠୁ ଫ୍ଲାଇଟ୍ରେ ଯିବୁ 2 ଘଣ୍ଟା ଯାହା ଘରକୁ ଯାଉଥିବ ସେଠି ଆଉ 4 ଘଣ୍ଟା ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ମିନ୍ସ କ୍ୟାପାସିଟି ପ୍ଲାନିଂ ନାହିଁ ତମେ ଏୟାରପୋର୍ଟ କରିଦେଲ ବାଙ୍ଗଲୋର କରିଦେଲ ରାସ୍ତା କଲନି ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ହ୍ୟାଜ୍ ଟୁ ବି ଦେୟାର ଆଗ ରାସ୍ତା ବନେଇବାର ଯେ ଆମର ଏଇଠି ଜିନିଷଟା ସେୟା ନା ଆଗ ନିଡ୍ ହେବ ତାପରେ ଜିନିଷଟା ବନା ହେବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ଦ ମଡେଲ ହ୍ୟାଜ୍ ଟୁ ବି ଆଗ ବନେଇବ
ରାଇଟ୍
ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଯେବେ ଆସିବ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ସେଟ୍ଟା ଦେନ୍ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ବି ଦେୟାର
What all IT companies are growing in Bhubaneswar? What are you seeing and कौन मने लाଗୁଛି कि ये सब companies are making it big? Do we still have examples like?
Yeah. Bhubaneswar देखो तो if you look at it, see Infosys, TCS, they have been.
Of course, no. I'm talking about the
local. I think
companies.
there is. ଆମ ବେଳେ there is a gentleman named ନାନୁପାଣି ଆମର କଲେଜ ସିନିୟର ସେ ଥିଲେ I have a lot of respect for him ତାଙ୍କର ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନଟା ବହୁତ ବଢ଼ିଆ they do really well they are now across the globe they're working on they're mostly working on the smart governance CSM technologies they are doing great and all the government structure not only in India not only in Odisha they are in central government they're in other governments also Assam Uttarakhand ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିବା ଭିତରେ Madhya Pradesh he has grown he has made it like it was one of the first IT companies जोटा कि माने since 1999 2000 माने लोक ଯାଇକି କେତେ କୁଆଡ଼େ ଗଲେଣି but I think his workforce is more than 1000 ଭଲ ଅଛି there is another organization called I'm very big fan of them is Mindfire is in Manchester they are doing great Mindfire organization they are more than 1000 people I think they completed 20 years or something they had a celebration I was following one of the owners in LinkedIn they're a very good organization ମାନେ ବଢ଼ିଆ କାମ କରେ ତାଙ୍କର ବହୁତ they are all technology savvy ମାନେ latest cutting edge technology then ଆଉ 2-3 ଜଣ ଅଛନ୍ତି ବହୁତ ଇଏ ସ୍ପେସ୍ରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି I was talking about Mohar they are working on cloud Axelo cloud ସେମାନେ cutting edge technologiesରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ବଢ଼ିଆ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି there are a lot of good organizations who have excelled in very focused area ଆମର ଯେମିତି focus ଥିଲା ସେ focused ଇଏରେ ବଢ଼ିଆ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି and I think they're all good success stories maybe they're not either they are going through that big acquisition hasn't happened but they have a here organization India organization US organization they're stable and doing great and they all have their own stories as well like small to how they made it and all that
My brother-in-law, he works for a very big Hyderabad company and he's in America right now. He's planning to shift back. So he's basically from a small town, Vijayanagaram. So he's thinking ki mo Vizag GB ki Bhubaneswar GB and he wants to open his own software company. I am pushing him ki nahi, take the leap, come to Bhubaneswar. Because Bhubaneswar is always the good company.
Bhubaneswar, you will get good talent than Vijayanagaram.
Yes. Vizag.
I think Vizag again, Vizag port city. Vizag, although growing, I think Andhra there would be good, but Bhubaneswar he will get good talent for sure. I think.
So what should we keep in mind? What should be the budget we should keep in mind to start an IT company?
So I think from a small company point of view, there is no budget. It all depends. Ki there are people like Apple जो नारायण मूर्ति से garage रू start करते right? There are people Facebook भी garage रू hostel रू start होता right? So there is no budget at least. So मामले ଆମର ବହୁତ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଇଏ ଥାଏ ଯେ ହାଉ ବିଗ୍ ଇଜ୍ ୟୋର ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ମୋର କେତେଟା ଚେୟାର ଟେବୁଲ୍ ଅଛି କେତେଟା କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟର ଅଛି କେତେ ଫ୍ଲୋର୍ କେତେ ସ୍କୋୟାର ଫିଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ୍ ଆଇଟି କମ୍ପାନୀ ପାଇଁ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଷ୍ଟିଲ୍ ରନ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଏ 3 bedroom ହାଉସ୍ ଅଲ୍ସୋ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ରନ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଏ ଗାରାଜ ବିକଜ ନାଉ ଡେଜ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ଆଫ୍ଟର କୋଭିଡ୍ ଆଇ କଲ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଆଜ୍ ବିଫୋର୍ କୋଭିଡ୍ ଆଫ୍ଟର କୋଭିଡ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ଏ ଯେମିତି ବିସି ଏଡି ଥିଲା ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ପୁରା ୱାର୍ଲଡଟା ପୁରା ୱାର୍ଲଡ ହାଜ୍ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ରାଇଟ୍ ସୋ ଆଫ୍ଟର କୋଭିଡ୍. So I think you can start from a small. I think idea should be in the first 2-3 years. You should not spend big on infrastructure in terms of. You may spend big on. तुम्हारा जो छोटा office अच्छी, you better have 2 or 3 better internet connections than better chair and tables, right, to sit, right?
Like Bhubaneswar, in our hotel, we have 3 internet connections.
Right, because that's more important than having a good table की मोर भलो आराम रे बसी करीबी सेटा को दे कि एटा को ऊपर concentrate करो for 2-3 months.
Like getting the right talent, investing in more in talent rather than space.
Right? You can squeeze 5 people here rather than having one person sitting as a boss in a conference room, right?
And finding a gap in the market, that is more.
Correct. Say दिन से आप concentrate करो rather than that, because when you are serving clients from outside, right? They're not visiting you tomorrow. When they visit, right? So rather start from there, save some money from there and invest into the operations. So anyone is getting into it, don't immediately knockari, start small, then you go. Rather have a better internet connection than better office, right?
Maybe this is a genuine suggestion for everybody watching this podcast.
Right.
Everybody who wants to take that entrepreneurship challenge. That in IT industry, it is more about the person rather than office or anything.
Correct. You see, everybody has to have that. ସବୁବେଳେ କାହିଁ କହନ୍ତି ଯେ ଆଇଟି ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ ମାନେ ତମେ ତ ଅଫିସରେ ବସି ଏସିରେ ବସି କାମ କରୁଛ ଆମେ ଏସିରେ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ଲୋକ ବସନ୍ତି ନିଜେ ମୋତେ ଗରମ ହେଉଛି when your ମୁଣ୍ଡଟା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଥଣ୍ଡା ରହିବ ତମେ ଭାବିପାରିବ that's the fundamental ଲୋକମାନେ ହଁ ଆଇଟି ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ ତ କ'ଣ ଗୋରା ପଡ଼ିଗଲୁଣି ଏସିରେ ବସି that's not the case ଏସିରେ ଲୋକ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ବସନ୍ତି ଯେ ଥଣ୍ଡାଟା ରହିଲେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଗରମରେ ଝାଳ ବୋହିଲେ କାମ କୋଉଠି କରିବ ସୋ ମାନେ କିବୋର୍ଡ ଓଦା ହେଇଯିବ ସେ ଯୋଉ ମାନେ ଥିଙ୍କ୍ ମାନେ have a decent ମାନେ ଯୋଉଥିରେ you can have people sit with you and work rather than thinking about କି ମୁଁ ଏଇଆ କରିବି ଏସି ଚାରିଟା ଲଗେଇବି ଏଇଆ କରିବି 40,000 ସ୍କୋୟାର ଫିଟ୍ ନେବି 10,000 either spend in people give that money to the people you are hiring because କ'ଣ ହୁଏ when you start a business IT business तुम तो एक का सब करिबन ना when you have like experts like architects developers and all that they will come from industry suppose somebody is getting say 20 lakhs in big IT company तबरा Capgemini हो Infosys हो कोठी भी हो बड़ा कंपनी चाकरी करची जो पैसा पाउची से 20 लाख रे आसी जॉइन करिबनी he would be expecting
30 lakhs
30 माने बड़ा राइज करियो काहे कि he is also taking a risk, right? For him, joining a smaller organization is also a risk, bigger risk because he has to run a family.
Yes.
So he will come at a premium. So rather invest that premium on that person rather than having a best of the world class office.
What is next for India in IT? I say data center or AI.
I tell you about Capgemini. Capgemini is the organization which is investing the most in AI, Gen AI. Right? We world report बहुत investment हमारा. I think Gen AI with controlled has to be there. नल तो मैं AI को कल कोई बजे बंदूक चले उसे चले दो, right? So say जो दिन चढ़ा is the next thing. Gen AI is definitely data center is always going to be there. The cloud and AI like moving your data to the cloud. Those are about to happen at any point in time. से जो on premises जो थिला सब से सब that will be thing of past एबे हे जीवा आउ सब cloud को सब data move हवा था हवा किंतु AI is the next big thing already in play, right?
भुवनेश्वर कोटा करिया easy. I think data center is more easy.
डेटा सेंटर तो ना डेटा सेंटर और कॉन्सेप्ट ही उठी जो किस दिन पर जेहेतु मैंने जो बिग प्लेयर असले आई थिंक एआई रे देयर आर लॉट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट हैपनिंग. आई एम फ्रॉम दैट ओल्ड स्कूल आईटी गाय, राइट? जो एआई टा जो करा होची जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वाज एग्जिस्टिंग इन 1960s आल्सो. 19 मोर ऑफ 7th सेमेस्टर फर्स्ट पेपर टा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इट इज एग्जिस्ट फ्रॉम 70s 60s 70s लोग प्रैक्टिस करी आछंती. एबे एटा को ताको हमर रियल लाइफ रे केते यूज हे परिबो सेटा को यूज करा होची जो मशीन लर्निंग आई एटा को सेटा करा होची किंतु ताको भी तार भी कंट्रोल्ड हवर अछि काहे how does it work? The data you provide, it gives you that output. If you provide wrong data, it will give you the wrong output.
Or maybe wrong prompt.
Wrong prompt, right? So that is how it is. So that review, amorebe mane mu, the way we are looking at it, we are looking at sanity of data rather than how to use it. So amorebe major concern roji je how that data is sanity
data रा junk अछि कि
junk अछि कि sanity अछि ने मुझे कहल ना तुम कहबो का लोग बंद को चले दो कंप्यूटर टा, राइट? से बड़ा हो पांच. Correct. So that's what I think that's what the world is moving next. But it is not another thought process to it is like भाबिबे सबु तो जदि जेन एआई कर देला सबु जदि मोर पाटर बाहरला परे फोन हे सिरी कहि जदि मोर सबु हे गेला तले आई एम लूजिंग माय जॉब. सो इट हैज टू हैव हिज बैलेंस आल्सो सो दैट माने कंप्यूटर काम कंप्यूटर करिवो कि लोक जेन हमर लोक आगर भाबुतले अरे मु तो फाइल रे हाथ रे लिखुजी कंप्यूटर टा आसले मु चाकरी पड़े ना ना चाकरी जीवनी सेम कंप्यूटर आसो तमे से एठ न लेके सेट लिखियो सही माने दैट हैज टू बी बैलेंस. Otherwise, if you automate, because if everything becomes automation, the client will stop paying. Right? तमें client को सब automation दे देला. तमें बाहर reception जो मतलब hotel reception ने गोटे robot बसे देला कि ये गला तले तमें stop paying से लोग का दरम बटे बंद देला. किस दिन पर से computer टाइप बंद है जीवो. कहीं से लोग का सब कर देला, right? So it has to be a balance. नॉले सब बड़े world रे balance तो दरकार, right? नॉले otherwise कोटे अधिका बढ़ी जो कोटे अधिका ये जो, right? So that's what.
So what sub industry is much of a scope that you can start in Bhubaneswar? Why I say Bhubaneswar or Odisha is because you need a right kind of talent for that, right? So Bhubaneswar start करले what sub industry of IT is good?
देखो भुवनेश्वर रे सब इंडस्ट्री रे बहुत जगह रे जो बहुत कंपनीज हैव ट्राइड मु जाने द लास्ट 15-20 इयर्स जो केपीओ नॉलेज प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट कि बीपीओ ए इंडस्ट्री रे भी दरकार. तमरो जो कोच जो गुरगांव पुणे रे जो गुरगांव रे जो पुणे बूम टा आसिला यू नो गुरगांव होज द मोस्ट बैक ऑफिस ऑफ मोस्ट ऑफ द यूएस इंश्योरेंस एंड बैंकिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. सेटा भी दरकार. यू नीड लो लेवल टैलेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आल्सो. सेटा को भी कंसंट्रेट टारगेट करिया भी कथा. खाली तुम यदि हाई निश स्किल वाला करियो तुम भाव निस्किल तुमर कंस्ट्रक्शन है निस्किल केते जण, राइट? निस्किल जे ड्राइंग करछि जिते करछि मिस्त्री भी काम करिया लोक दरकार ना नहीं जो माने एक्चुअल वर्कर माने सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर हला कि ये हला से माने भी रहगा था. सो दैट इज आल्सो एन इंडस्ट्री कैन बी टारगेटेड इन टर्म्स ऑफ जो माने बीपीओ केपीओस एंड ऑल दैट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट सेटा हला गोटे लो हैंगिंग, आई कॉल इट एज लो हैंगिंग बिकॉज दैट्स कैन बी done. Other, I think, run-of-the-mill IT organizations are fine. I think, and how good things हुए जे तमरो Bangalore और Hyderabad सब जगह रे one of the things which helps is तमरो थोड़े large industries रहला they may not have sufficient people to execute all the projects. They must be looking for subcontractors also. So तांको छत्र छाया तले भी बहुत smaller companies you can grow also. So basically you are growing talent also, right? सेटा भी गोटे target करी होगा. You can have small organizations who are partnering with large organizations to deliver value, right? That is also a grow. माने that is also low hanging. कहेंगे you're actually mitigating your risk because tomorrow tension nahi tamu jane kaam dochi pila asile kaam kale, you're mitigating a risk on the day one itself. Then you can focus on that earning to something else, to run another sales or something. So that is also another, because bada Bhubaneswar bada habara one of the major ye haba je jadi ye jo choto industry gura start tomar jemti bhaba jo mara ଆମର ଯାଜପୁର ରୋଡ କଳିଙ୍ଗ ନଗର ଏରିଆ ଯେତିକି ଏରିଆ ଅଛି ତାକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ବହୁତ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ଦଉଛନ୍ତି।
Feeders ବହୁତ ବାହାରେ।
Feeder.
So one Tata establishment in Jajpur can give you 100 odd companies, 200 odd
Exactly,
companies.
that is what IT industry ବି ସମାନ pattern ରେ କାମ କରେ, right? ତମର ମାନେ ତମର IT industry ଆମର industry IT ରେ ବଡ଼ Capgemini company like Capgemini and all that, we need suppose any other bada organization, they need trainers for their unit, right? For some specialized skills. They may not have there internally. There is another guy who comes in, 2 months train kala, bhari kaisla, tanga pila ko train kala, right? So it actually se jo ecosystem ta badhevare bada company ro bhi ye tha, right? Amaro T-Cube ro first 1 year re we were training भी पसेइथिलु मझरे, because that is something monthly तमरा येटा आसीबो ना, monthly run rate टा right.
Last of the two questions. Where do you invest your money? Where do you invest your money in small companies to make it big?
Investment point of view, I have some bad investments also, right? Some investments in real estate, some investment in market and all that. So that's how it is. And there are small industry I have invested in primarily in the advertising marketing space. So that is also kind of I've done. So
in Bhubaneswar.
So that is also there. So, they're waiting for another big one or ka?
So you still have ambition to put up new IT company to struggle to make up
another 15 years, another 2. At least 2.
So do you have to leave the job for that?
Yeah, let's see. At least another 2 before I retire. So let's see. That's my retirement bonus.
So last and the most important question, right, about this podcast is, what is your message for a Odia chua working in Bangalore, Pune or Bhubaneswar, wants to take that leap of faith कि ମୁଁ entrepreneurship ଚାହୁଁଛି କରିବା ପାଇଁ? What is your message? କେମିତି start କରିବ?
ଆଜିକାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲାଣି, ବହୁତ ପିଲା ମୁଁ ଦେଖୁଛି ମୋର I'm in touch with a lot of people 20 years तले जो generation थिला एबेका generation has बहुत different हेलानी, कहीं because of the reasons हमको जो lifestyle हमको 30 वर्ष दरकार थला तांको आजिकली 22 वर्ष दरकार पड़छि, right? तमोर नीड हिसाब रे डिफाइन करछि जे मु मोर डायरेक्शन टा कुआडे जीवी people. So basically due to that they're not married to a large organization now. Rather they want to get into smaller organization with a higher salary to take that risk, because you are joining a smaller organization, your salary could stop any day, right? Because tankara nothing amar pila mananga nothla masse pai, right? So that mindset has changed. Aguru जोटा तमर प्रोफाइल रे बापा माँ मो पुओ एठी थिला, मो पुओ एठी अछि, से आजिकली ये चेंज हेलानी. बट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ मल्टीनेशनल्स इन इंडिया, राइट? तार ना तुम जान नथियो, किंतु पीपल दे आर हायरिंग फ्रॉम आईआईटीज, दे आर हायरिंग फ्रॉम लार्ज कॉलेजेस. सो से जो माइंडसेट वाला पीपल ऑलरेडी अछंती. सो इट्स जस्ट दैट पीपल हु आर गेटिंग इनटू इट, तांको पे बिगर एडवाइस व्हिच वी स्पोक अबाउट 1 hour ago, आजी करी काली भावी मु पैसा ये करी बोली, माने पैसा नहीं सक्सेस आजी भावी काली ये करी. You have to wait. You have to wait. That wait period could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years or 10 years, right? But nowadays the way, the pace at which we are running, I think 3 to 5 years is a good time, right? If I get into next organization, for me it is 3 years. I've given it to myself. 3 years ଭିତରେ I have to be successful because
you'll crack a code.
half code crack ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ଆସିଲେ ନୂଆ code କୁ crack କରିବାର ଅଛି. So this world is full of opportunities. ଏମିତି କିଛି ନାହିଁ ଯେ ଦୁନିଆରେ ଯେ ଅଲରେଡ଼ି ହେଇଯାଇଛି ମୁଁ କଲେ ଚାଲିବନି କିନ୍ତୁ your product whatever you do, so ଆଜିକାଲି କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି ନା ତୁମେ ଯେଉଁ ଟୋଟାଲ ଓଭରଅଲ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍ରେ do lot of research before. ଆମେ ଯେମିତି research now କରିକି ମୁଁ if I go back and fix something in last 15 years, I'll fix those things. Research କରିକି ପସ. Research in the sense कि total suppose ecosystem ହେଲା. ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ simple example ଦଉଛି. जो suppose Amazon fulfillment होची कि स्विगी ଆଉ जोमेटोर fulfillment होची. ये जो fulfillment cycle रे ଗୋଟେ एग्जांपल देली. सपोज गोटे लोक को आसला ऑर्डर आसला रेस्टोरेंट गला खाଇବା ଆଣିଦେଲା ତା ଭିତରେ 4-5ଟା ସ୍ଟେପ୍ ହେଉଛି. ସେ 4-5ଟା ସ୍ଟେପ୍ରୁ କେଉଁ ସ୍ଟେପ୍ଟା ମୁଁ ଆହୁରି ଅଟୋମେଟ୍ କରିବି ଗୋଟେ ଇଏ କରିଦେବି ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କି ତାର ଏଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ବଢ଼ିବ. ପିପୁଲ୍ ଆର୍ ଲୁକିଂ ଆଟ୍ ଏଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ନାଉ ଡେଜ୍, ରାଇଟ୍? ଏଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ଆଣ୍ଡ ସ୍ପିଡ୍. ସୋ ମୁଁ ୱାର୍ଲଡରେ ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ଷ୍ଟଡି ଅଲ୍ ଦିସ୍ ଇଭେନ୍ ୱେଦର୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଷ୍ଟକ୍ ମାର୍କେଟ୍ ହେଲା, स्विगी जोमेटो है कि अमेजन फुलफिलमेंट है कि सप्लाई चेन है कि ट्रक रे जो जिनस नहीं कि गाड़ी जाऊँ, राइट? ट्रक जिनस जाए सी भी हो ट्रांसपोर्ट है, हाउ कैन आई मेक इट एफिशिएंट, राइट? से जिनस स्टडी करे बहुत जरूरी इफ यू आर गेटिंग इनटू ए प्रोडक्ट स्पेस एंड ऑल दैट. Second, if you're getting into service industry and all that, then you find out which are niche skill you can build, which are the niche skill you can work on, so that you have a differentiation in the market. Differentiation নহলে মানে it is very difficult to survive.
The thing you are offering तारो गोटे clear picture रहिबा कथा before starting anything.
Otherwise jump कले तो अच्छी, then you basically say पानी को डेलो बुड़ीलो, then you learn, then you swim, then you swim. Otherwise then you थरे swim कला माने बैक स्ट्रोक करियो, ब्रेस्ट स्ट्रोक करियो, सब करियो. आगो swim टा भी सिखा दरकार. यदि मु फर्स्ट जाई कि कोई बैक स्ट्रोक करबी ताले हबनी. So patience is also definitely there. पाठ पढ़िया लर्निंग कहीं मैंने मैंने आम जहाँ देखु इट्स ए वेरी वेरी फास्ट चेंजिंग वर्ल्ड नाउ डेज. मैंने टेक्नोलोजी तो मैंने आज बाहर से काली चेंज हो जाए, राइट?
मैंने 2022 रे आई रिमेंबर इतने हाला यार कौन मेटावर्स सब उड़ी
से मैंने भी दे कोपिंग अप रहा हूँ मैंने ये, राइट? तेणु मैंने लोक जो फेसबुक व्हाट्सएप को किणला है व्हाट्सएप टे कौन अच्छे किणला खाली अच्छी
20 people working in an organization he bought for $50 billion.
से व्हाट्सएप टा अच्छी एटर अच्छी तो मैसेज जाउची अनदर मैसेंजर. लुक एट वेयर व्हाट्सएप इज, वेयर इंस्टाग्राम इज, राइट? सो दैट्स हाउ माने थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड इन द वर्ल्ड, राइट? सो आई थिंक लर्निंग anything in the world, learning should stop. जो दिन मोर एटा गोटे सब बेस्ट, जो दिन मु शिखी कहीदेवी जे मु सबू जानी मुझे दिन मरीगली मैंने आई एम डेड दैट डे, you're over, राइट? तेणु तेंदुलकर भी डेली बैटिंग करे जाउतला, 4टा बॉल खेलिकी प्रैक्टिस करके जाउतला खेलियाको आ डेली भी सिखुतला नुआ शॉट, राइट? दैट इज हाउ इट इज एंड ही इज अ गॉड ऑफ क्रिकेट. आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट माय पैशन इज आल्सो ऑलवेज बीन. किछटा हेले माने पढ़ी देबी मोर माने ए जिनसटा कोन पे
where is that technology come from सेरा कोन
किछि भी जिनस रे
कोन सॉल्व करि परिबो,
कोन सॉल्व करबे किछि भी जिनस रे. सपोज काली गोटे स्टॉक मार्केट रे मे बी आई मे नॉट हैव इन्वेस्टेड, गोटे स्टॉक टे अधिक हाई पे पड़ेला, अरे से काहे की गला
like last 7 days Indigo doubled.
अरे टेस्ला डबल हे गलानी 10 दिन रे. ट्रम्प आसला परे टेस्ला हैज बीन डबल्ड, राइट? किंतु कौन पढ़े ता फ्यूचर कौन मैंने ये तो सेट शिक्षा रह इवन तो मु को जो मैंने स्टॉक मार्केट इन्वेस्ट करने से पढ़िया कथा जो न करंती मते अरे कौन ता हो
know about it,
राइट? सो से जो जिंस रे भी लर्निंग शुड नॉट स्टॉप. कहीं माने तमे जो न सब जिंस इवन हमर जो पिला ऑफिस से जो टेक्निकल पिला अछंती से माने भी दे हैव टू कोप अप एंड दे हैव टू लर्न, अदरवाइज व्हेन दे आर डेड इंडस्ट्री तो थे 35-40 वर्ष होगा घरे 2टा छुआ ये है कौन कर मैंने टाइम मिलूनी ये होनी. सो यू हैव टू मेक टाइम फॉर एवरीथिंग.
लर्निंग माने ए इंडस्ट्री रे इट शुड नॉट एवर
ए इंडस्ट्री तो बिना लर्निंग रे हबनी. Even real estate also, if you don't learn, if you don't go to another 5 places, तो
Yeah,
जानिबनी
we
जे-
always look up for metro to get new things here and
right. तो मैं new ways of constructing, new ways of serving to people, right? That has to be there. Efficiency एठी भी बढ़ेगा, efficiency सेठी भी बढ़ेगा, right?
thanks, Milu bhai. Thanks for giving us so much of time.
Pleasure.
I hope everyone loves the video and they take a lot of information and inspiration.
This is my first tour.
Yeah.
And maybe I was talking very openly, like we talk in cricket field, that's how I'm talking, because
I know.
unadulterated, like जहाँ मनु गसला कहैछि, hope people like it. Or
So we do a special thing before closing every episode. We don't gift hampers or anything else to our guests. We gift our mutton biryani. So I know your love for mutton biryani, and we at Hotel Marigold cook very good mutton biryani. So eat a good choto gift.
thank you. এটা বেস্ট জিনিস না, এটা মনে রাখ, কাହିଁକି ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ରେ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ ରେ କଣଟା ଦବ ଯେ ମାନେ ମାନେ ଆଉ କଣଟା ହେଇପାରିବ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ, ଏଇଟା ତ ମେନ୍ ନା. And these are the things which goes to word of mouth, कि ଆଜି ସେ କହିଲା ଖାଇଛି ସେଠି, that's how we.
Thank you for watching this podcast. I hope you enjoyed a lot. Please subscribe and share for more.